Welcome to Goodman Stadium at Lehigh University here in Bethlehem for the 4A Eastern Final between Easton and CB West. Dan Mowdy with Mike Zambelli all set to bring you today's game. Now this is a day of firsts for both of these teams. For CB West, a first time in the state playoffs, as well for Easton. Also a day of firsts for two young men, one on each squad. For Easton, Juan Gaddy could be the first man to go 2,000 yards rushing in a single season for the Easton Red Rovers. All he needs is 226 yards. On the other side of the ball, number 11 in white, that is Greg Moylan, the quarterback for CB West. Moylan needs just 5 yards of passing to break the 3,000 career mark for his team. And as well, a day of firsts for both teams, and that, Mike, one of these teams is going to make it to their first state final.
Well, they have to get by this afternoon first. I'm looking for a great football game, Dan. I think emotions will run high, and I think that is one of the keys to this afternoon. I was with both coaches. I was around them. I think it's very important for both of them, to tone their teams down a little bit, believe it or not. You don't need to come out, the game speaks for itself. You're going to be fired up. You're going to be ready to play. And I think it is important for the coaches to settle them down so that they don't make early mistakes in the game and allow another team to score maybe an easy touchdown.
CB West comes in with a fine record of 11 wins, no losses, the top-ranked team in the state in the 4A division, number 1 in all the newspaper polls, and number 5 in USA's Today's national rankings.
Well, when you get this far along in the season, and if you look at all the classifications for the state championships, I think there's a total of 4 losses and 1 tie. So you're going to run into quality football teams. We're used to maybe following Bethlehem Catholic. There's never a weak team. You got to know all teams can run the ball, they can throw the ball, and most importantly, I think, and what decides championships is they can play defense, and I think that's another key for this afternoon.
An interesting point for Easton regarding the standings. They are number 2 in the state in the 4A division by all polls, including the Harrisburg Patriot News. However, even after beating Bethlehem Catholic, which was an honorable mention in USA Today newspaper, Easton has been snuffed by the national polls.
Well, it's hard to figure out, and Coach Shriver talked about it, and he was disappointed about it, and he's a man on a mission with his team this afternoon. I think the other curious thing about that is that they do come from a tough league. The East Penn Conference is considered one of the best in the state. Bethlehem Catholic has more state championships than any other school in the state with 2. They only started playing, this will be the 4th year. So the conference itself has a great deal of respect. Easton went undefeated through that conference, won the district championship, and yet does not get nationwide recognition. Coach Shriver would like to do something about that this afternoon.
Now, Mike, both teams are coming off tough Thanksgiving Day wins. For Easton, a 25-15 struggle against Phillipsburg, always a tough game at Lafayette College. And for the CB West team, a tough one against CB East. They took that one out 17-7. Let's take a look at CB East a little bit closer now. Last outing, they donned their white jerseys and duked it out with Central Bucks East on Thanksgiving morning. CB West needed to beat their arch rival to earn the state playoff berth. The Bucks trailed by a point in the first half and lost starting quarterback Greg Moylan in the second quarter. The defense dug in to hold the line in the second half, limiting the Patriots to just 43 yards of total offense. Senior tailback Chris Cleland filled in at quarterback, leading his team to a second touchdown and converting a 2-point conversion pass to junior end Rob Sweat. The Bucks went on to beat the Patriots 17-7 in front of the sellout crowd. Head coach Mike Pettin has a national record of 53 consecutive wins, along with 16 league titles and 13 undefeated regular seasons. This is his 25th year at the Bucks helm.
It's tough on any level, pro, college, or high school, to keep focused when you're winning every week. To stay up, to have everybody come after you. Everybody gave us their best shot. And, our kids just deserve a tremendous amount of credit. People often ask me, boy, the pressure of being number 1. And believe me, there is pressure. It's tough to enjoy. The underdog always enjoys it. He's loose. He can come out and do anything and try anything. But when you're expected to win and you do, it's, well, let's see you do it again next week. But now they can enjoy it.
The CB West backfield is more than impressive. It's effective. Moylan, a 3-year starter, represents West's best shot at all state honors. His numbers, a school record 2,995 career passing yards, and this season, a 58.4 completion rate, 17 touchdown passes, only 7 interceptions, and 7 touchdowns running the ball. The running backs, Cleland, averaging 7.1 yards per carry and 18.8 yards per reception. The wingback, senior Matt Sonsini, last year a second-team All-Stater as a junior. His numbers, 6.1 yards per carry, 20.8 yards per reception. And the fullback, senior Dave Binder, 4.1 yards per carry. The top receiver, split end Roman Fitzmartin, who averages 21.9 yards per catch. How effective is this offense? The Bucs have outscored their opponents 336-50 and scored their first field goal last week against CB East. Another first last week, a rushing touchdown scored by a CB West opponent. Will there be any relief for Easton today when the Red Rovers have the ball? Probably not. CB West defense allows a paltry 4.5 points against per game. But the Bucs have never had to face a guy named Juan Gaddy. This quick-footed phenom with pro speed exploded Thanksgiving morning against Phillipsburg for an East Penn record 314 yards rushing. Gaddy needs 226 yards to reach 2,000 for the season. CB West is hoping Gaddy doesn't feel the need to get the job done in a single afternoon at a stadium just outside his hometown. So there you have it. Juan Gaddy versus the CB West defense. An irresistible force, Mike, going against an immovable object.
Well, CB West defensively, and when you're ranked nationally the way they are, you know they field a good defensive team. They have only been scored upon on the ground one time all year long. This is the first-team defense, and that might present a problem for Easton. However, for CB West, they have not run into the likes of Juan Gaddy. Gaddy is a special back. He has the outstanding speed, but the thing I think that impresses me the most, Dan, is the ability to run inside and break tackles and make people miss to take advantage of that speed. If the West defense gets a little bit too locked in on watching Gaddy, they're going to have to be concerned about Billman DeLibiano. Libiano's being touted as maybe the best player in the state, maybe certainly the best tight end, and it's something that has to be concerning to the CB West defense. I don't think, even with their undefeated record and the great teams that they have had and played against, that they have gone up against the arsenal that Easton can present or the problems that they can present offensively. It's an offense that has averaged 36 points a game. That's more than any team in the NFL. So they can put points on the board, and you got to believe they have more than Juan Gaddy, and they do.
That's right. Easton has scored 50 points on one occasion, more than 50 points. CB West has allowed only 50 points total from all 11 opponents. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with the opening kickoff right after this. Beautiful Goodman Stadium here at the Lehigh University campus. Welcome back. Dan Mowdy with Mike Zambelli, all set to bring you today's 4A Eastern final between Central Bucs West, and they've got the chop going out there on the opposing side, and the Easton Red Rovers, who you see the fans of right there. 42 degrees here as we are about 5 minutes or so away from kickoff. It was supposed to go as high as 50. That looks to be in question at this point. Mike, we've got two high-powered teams, both offenses scoring a lot of points, but maybe more importantly, both defenses don't give a whole lot of points away.
Well, and I think the defenses will dominate, and I think the team that is able to slow the other team down or stop the other team, I think, is the team that's going to win. I think you get into championship games, defenses are ultimately the ones that, you know, win for you. It's an old cliche, but it's basketball, football, whatever. The team that can shut you down and stop you from doing the things that you feel comfortable doing, I think, is the team that winds up on the winning end of the score.
Central Bucs West, the Bucs, wearing black and gold from Buckingham, just outside of Doylestown. Last season, they went 10-1, losing to Council Rock, which pretty much took away any chances of making the state playoffs. This season, as we mentioned before, 11 wins, no losses. They are the District 1 4A champs and the Suburban 1 League National Conference champs. Their defense has put together 5 shutouts this season, the team allowing only 50 total points over those 11 games, and the offense, meanwhile, scoring 328.
Well, you talk about this being their first appearance in state competition, and it's really, really ironic. You look at the Easton cheerleaders. in the mid to late 80s, Central Bucks West set a national record with 53 consecutive wins. Now, right at the end of that last year was the year that they started the state playoffs, and unfortunately for them, they in their Thanksgiving Day rival game, they had a tie in their last game with CB East, and that tie cost them making an appearance in the very first state championship game. And as you mentioned, last year they lost to Council Rock in a season where they went 10-1. And really, as Easton found out, in any 4A school, you just have to go undefeated if you're going to get into the state playoffs, and sometimes that's not even going to get you there. The winner this afternoon will advance to play the winner of the Western game, which is being played the same time, 1 o'clock. Connellsville, 13-0, is playing Erie Cathedral Prep, also 13-0. That game is being played at Latrobe. Last year, by the way, Erie Cathedral Prep lost the West Regional, so they're the only team back from last year in the 4A classification.
Interesting, Mike, isn't it, that the two newspapers that have statewide high school football polls, the Harrisburg Patriot and the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, both pick Central Bucks West as the #1 team in the state and Easton as the #2 team in the state. So if you go by that, we may be watching a state championship caliber game today.
Well, there's no doubt about it, and I'm sure the people out west kind of feel with, their combined records both at 13-0, they might feel the same way. And, when you get to this point in the season, you're going to want into quality football teams. Certainly CB West has spoken for itself, nationally ranked, and, Easton here. But I think a lot of people think that the winner of this game here might break a 3-game losing streak for the East in the state championship. And I say that all of the 4A championship games have gone to Western teams. In '88 it was Pittsburgh Central Catholic, in '89 it was Upper St. Clair, and last year North Allegheny. So people are talking probably the winner of this game will come out and maybe be the favorite in the state finals.
A lot of folks out there are wondering, well, exactly how good is football in District 1? Well, in that same vein, Mike, District 1 has had a team make the state playoffs every year. However, no District 1 team, as you mentioned, has won a state football championship. Looking back one year, 1990, it was Ridley losing in the state final to North Allegheny. 1989, Coatesville losing in the Eastern final. And 1988, the first year of the new state playoff system, it was Neshaminy losing in the Eastern final as well.
Well, and it just, goes to show you the toughness. Certainly District 1 getting a qualifier in that 4A classification every year speaks for itself. And obviously, if they're good enough to get there, they're good enough to win. And I think it's just a matter of time. Certainly, I would think that CB West is their best opportunity. As you say, they are the top-ranked team in the state of Pennsylvania, and ranked as high as 10th nationally in 5 in some polls. So certainly they come in with a lot of reputation, and I'm sure they'll be ready to play here this afternoon. I'm looking down now at the Easton and CB West locker rooms, and both the teams are making their way onto the field.
CB West, 21 seniors, 17 juniors, and 20 sophomores on head coach Mike Pattine's roster. For Bob Shriver's Easton squad, 16 seniors, 26 juniors, and 7 sophomores. Let's talk a little bit about the Red Rovers as they make their way onto the field. Easton comes into this game with 13 wins, no losses, winning back-to-back District 11 4A championships and an East Penn Conference championship this year with a conference slate of 11 wins, no losses. Last year, Shriver's team went 10-3 and still managed to win the District 11 4A championship and put together a 9-game win streak.
Well, and that's where I talked about the East Penn Conference. There are the Red Rovers making their way onto Goodman Stadium there, and they play in a very tough league. That East Penn Conference is really highly regarded throughout the state. They have won 3 outright conference championships. This past season, while going 13-0, they scored 452 points while giving up 154, or an average of 34.7 points a game, defensively giving up 11.8 points a game. And I think that can be misleading. When you get teams down 35-0, now you got second and third teamers in there.
Right.
I think Easton defensively might be a little underrated because of that fact. Certainly, we've talked about Gaddy, Libiano, and Billman, and all of them their names are etched into the Easton record books, for various things. Gaddy's still with another year, probably will rewrite all East Penn Conference records. He will close in and trying to catch Eric March next season as a senior, but coming off a 314-yard performance against Phillipsburg in their traditional Thanksgiving Day game.
Head coach Mike Patton on the gold and black side of the field for Central Bucks West. There's a look at Gibson, Larry Gibson, the the fullback. He is a junior, 5'10", 150 pounds, and you'll be seeing him running in tandem with the awesome number 21, Juan Gaddy.
This is also a little bit of an unusual year. Since they started the state championship in 1988, only 2 teams had qualified every year. One of them, our own Bethlehem Catholic, and winning 2 state championships outright, one in 2A and one in 3A classification. They were eliminated in 1989 in the Eastern regionals, but the other program, Berwick, had qualified and won 1 state championship, and that was in the initial year, 1988, in the 3A classification. They also lost one in the finals, while most of us know that last year they were beaten by Becca. But both those programs had qualified for states all 3 years. They are missing this year.
Juan Gaddy getting a good stretch of those hamstrings, and you can bet that he'll be giving them a workout. 314 record yards against Phillipsburg last week. Not just a school record, but an East Penn Conference record as well. And as we mentioned before, he needs only 226 yards in this game. I say only because it's Juan Gaddy we're talking about. 226 yards in this game. He will become the first 2,000-yard single-season rusher in Easton history. Here's the view of center field. Let's go down for the coin toss.
You help to call the game, okay? We got the toss. Mike, would you position yourself over here, please? Red, over here. Okay. White first. 1 toss. CBW 1 toss. Okay. Red is going to receive.
Okay. You were down at the middle of the field. You did not see a coin toss because they did that in the locker room some 10 minutes ago. You saw CB West won the toss and deferred, so they will put what they feel is their strongest unit, their defense, on the field and give Juan Gaddy and his Easton Red Rovers the football first. That was referee Gerald Gerhard. The umpire tonight is T.A. Kuba. The headlinesman is Mike Leonardziak. Line judge is Jim Arnold. The field judge is George Kroloskic. And the back judge is William Buchanan. All of the officials are from a neutral district, District 3.
Talk about the CB West defense a little bit more. A 4-man front. They allowed just 4.5 points per game and have allowed only 1 rushing touchdown, as Mike mentioned earlier, that coming in the last game to CB East. Look for defensive back Roman Fitzmartin. He has 8 interceptions in 11 games. And the Easton offense, which we'll be seeing shortly, running out of multiple formations, split backs, power I, option. They do it all. They have 2 tight ends. Shriver's biggest line ever, averaging 240 pounds, gives Juan Gaddy a whole lot of holes to work with.
And then the man we'll be looking for will be Juan Gaddy. He will be wearing number 21. Billman will wear number 13, the quarterback. Simonetti, number 6, is the flanker, and certainly the fullback, Dean Jones, number 48. The deep people for Easton.
They are Juan Gaddy, number 21, and Billy Carter, a late addition to the lineup, and wearing number 31. He is a return man, only a sophomore.
Well, and again, evidence of the feeder system for Easton. Some speed available there down at the sophomore level, and Coach Shriver not leaving any stone unturned. He has all his talent out there.
Lining up the opening kickoff, number 14, John Patterson lets it fly, and it drops at about the 15-yard line in the arms of number 31. That is Carter. And Carter makes his way up to about the 30-yard line, where he's met by Jason Williamson.
And a nice job by CB West of kicking the ball away from Gaddy. 17-yard return by Carter.
The Easton offense, led by quarterback Steve Billman. He is a senior quarterback that holds 4 passing records for Easton High School. In motion goes number 6, Simonetta. And the handoff goes to the big fullback, number 48, Dean Jones. And Jones bowls his way a couple of yards short of a first down. That was Ryan Moore, the defensive end, bringing him down.
Well, early going, they put Gaddy in motion, and certainly he's the guy going to draw the attention. They put him in motion. It draws a linebacker. It draws attention. Opens up the middle inside. Jones, nice pickup on first down, 8 yards.
They mark it at the 39-yard line, 2nd and 2. Simonetta in motion once again. And the handoff this time to Gaddy. And Gaddy dives forward for an Easton first down. They'll mark the ball at about the 44-yard line, gain of about 5.
Some good penetration upfield by the defense. Watch number 50, Justin Gordon for West. Right there. That's what slows that play down. Forces Gaddy to lose his timing on the play, but still able to pick up enough yardage for the first down, our initial one of the night, afternoon.
Ryan Moore providing the anchor. Rob Sweat finishing off the tackle on Gaddy. 1st and 10 now from the 44. It's Gaddy diving forward for a gain of about 4 yards. He was met that time by number 42, Steve DeLuca, the outside linebacker.
Well, early going has to be a concern for CB West. I mean, there's a play where Gaddy's roaming pretty free, and there's another 4-yard pickup. Credit those big people up front. Look at a nice hole. Gaddy's able to run pretty well untouched, some 4 or 5 yards downfield. Give him 5 on the carry.
Gaddy, number 1 in career scoring at Easton High School, number 1 in single season scoring, number 1 in single season rushing with 1,774 yards and counting. Simonetta in motion once again, 2nd and 5. The handoff goes to the fullback, and Jones makes his way over the midfield stripe. He'll still be about 3 yards short of a first down. He was met by Dave Flezar, the outside linebacker.
Nice second effort by Jones. Let's mention the big people now up front for Easton. At right guard will be Shane Lamas. Center is Nick Azalina. Right tackle Jason Swint. Number 69 left guard Harold Miller. 71 left tackle Todd Candle. Number 81 All-State candidate Mark Liviano, and the other tight end is Sean Shoup, number 87, offensively for the Red Rovers.
Billman, the quarterback, getting the job done on the ground. It's 3rd and 2. And they pitch out to Gaddy. He's at the 45, hurdles 1 tackle, and makes it all the way up to the 43.
I get the feeling from talking with both these coaches and seeing them before the game that they would both like to have this kind of a football game offensively. Watch the job that Jones does, number 48 on the end. Jones gets a draw. There he is in your picture. He's going to get a nice turn in on the outside and neutralize the end and allow Gaddy enough yardage to get the first down. Number 2 in this opening drive for Easton.
Dave Binder with the tackle from the defensive ends position. It's the 2nd first down of the game for Easton. All coming on this opening drive from the 43 of Central Bucks West. Here's the handoff, and Gaddy is rocked right at the line of scrimmage. Looks like number 35, Rob Sweat, the first man in from the inside linebacker spot, the biggest skill position player on the squad.
Well, he's the guy CB West wants to be in the action. Number 34 is going to run a little deal from the linebacker position. He fills the hole. Boy, classic tackle by your linebacker there. And look at Gaddy. I talked about his strength. He almost broke out of that one. You really got to wrap and keep your arms wrapped around Gaddy because he can dance out of those tackles.
You saw Coach Shriver leaning forward a little bit. The handoff to Gaddy. He's got a hole, and he bounces free. The 30, the 25, the 20, and he's just knocked out of bounds at the 10-yard line by the last man to beat, number 87. That was Roman Fitzmartin saving 6 points for CB West.
Well, Easton has to feel real excited about this drive that they're putting together right now. Watch the lead block again by number 48, Jones on the linebacker. He clears it right there, and then look at Gaddy again. They don't wrap. They try and give him a shoulder, and you are not going to bring number 21 down with that kind of tackling. Good angle, good pursuit. 33 yards on the gain for Gaddy.
1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Simonetta goes right. The handoff to the first man through. It's Jones, and Jones is stacked up and thrown back. No gain on the play. At the first man in doing the stacking, Rob Sweat.
Well, Sweat again, and he's going to need to make that play. He got taken out on the last one. Comes in, does a nice job. Easton showing a good mix. This whole drive, all on the ground. Let's take a look here. Watch Sweat now. He's going to get in there. You see Jones. You see the pulling guard is number 69 there, Harold Miller. But a nice fill by Sweat and then some good help by the defense. Timeout CB West, and I'm sure they are not happy. You have to remember, they won the toss and elected to give the football to the Red Rovers, and they are doing something with it. They have moved down to the CB West 8-yard line.
Dean Jones did gain a yard on that play before being thrown back across the line of scrimmage. Jones, we have to mention, a 5'11", 208-pound junior. He averages 4.1 yards per carry from the fullback's position, and he has 405 yards rushing coming into today's game.
It will be 2nd and goal from the 8. They cannot pick up a first down. They need to get into the end zone. So Both teams now with a timeout. You see the Red Rovers huddle about head coach Shriver now, and you know that they have to feel excited about what this offense has done. They have not even shown CB West the Billman DeLiviano act. It has been Jones and Gaddy moving the football down the field with the help of a nice job by that offensive line.
That offensive line, as we mentioned, averages 240 pounds per man. That's a 35-pound advantage per man over CB West's defensive front. And it is showing early here from the 8-yard line. Second down. The pitch out now to Gaddy. He's going left. He's got the corner. Touchdown, Easton.
Touchdown for one. Gaddy. He goes 8 yards. Easton puts the points on the board. The clock reads 8 minutes and 5 seconds on the first period.
Impressive drive. I am very impressed with the control by the Red Rovers of their emotions. Look at Gaddy. Great drive. Good job by the offensive line when we pick up the replay. Harold Miller, number 69, just another good job of leading the way for Gaddy. Opening drive, the Red Rovers score 6.
The extra point attempt.
Bobby Shriver in the black.
Ryan Brandes puts it up, but it's no good.
You know, and something, boy, that's the first bad thing to happen. Watch number 69. He's in your screen right there, is Miller. We're going to be in tight here on Gaddy, but Miller, there he is again. He's the guy leading the way. You see number 87 out there also is Shook. And Miller is able to get just enough of the end right there to allow Gaddy, number 21, and that quickness and speed to turn the corner into the end zone. Score comes with 8:05 remaining in the first quarter. The drive went for 70 yards, 9 plays, and all of them on the ground. Easton did not have to go to the air, covered 70 yards, Gaddy capping it from 8 yards out. The extra point not good. Rovers on top, 6-0.
Would you believe only the second rushing touchdown scored against CB West this entire season?
Well, we talked about it in the opening, Dan, you know, and that might be true. But they have not seen the likes of number 21, Juan Gaddy, and I know we give him a lot of credit, and I know that young man will be the first to talk about his offensive line. That line did a nice job in that opening drive.
The deep men for CB West, number 8, Matt Sonsini, the fastest man on this squad. Last year, a second-team All-Stater. And it's received by Sonsini at the 25, the 30. Found a hole, but gets swarmed at the 33, where he's brought down under heavy pressure.
Well, Sonsini is one of the special players for CB West. Second team All-State last year. He started as a sophomore, has a great deal of experience. 17-yard return. CB West will start from their own 32-yard line.
Robert Woody, a reserve free safety, bringing down the ball carrier, Sonsini. As I mentioned, a second-team All-Stater last year when he was required to carry the ball a whole lot more than he was this year. And that's due to the fact that CB West has an incredible backfield, which we're about to see now. Under center, Greg Moylan, the All-State candidate. All he needs is 5 yards passing to reach 3,000 for the season. And he goes to the air right away. Lets it fly. It's tipped up. And it's no good. Incomplete. The big hands by number 81, Mark Liviano.
Well, you know, so many times when a young man is a two-way performer in high school, they talk about his offensive exploits. Liviano, one of those players, a career record for receptions in a year and in a career. But look at the defensive effort by number 81. I really think that that's where those guys are the toughest, those great athletes. John Linton for Catasauqua, I think their defense really goes unnoticed by what they achieve offensively.
Central Bucks West now trying to make their way to the line of scrimmage. We have an official timeout on the field.
Looks like an equipment adjustment maybe over there on Liviano, you know. But getting back to that Liviano story, here's a guy, you know, Peeberg in that Thanksgiving Day game is driving for what could be a winning touchdown, and Liviano just took the football away from one of the backs and scampered some 60 yards for a clinching touchdown. Defense wins championships. Defense wins football games, and Liviano is one of the best there is in the state.
2nd and 10 from their own 33. Moylan under center. In motion goes number 8, Matt Sonsini. Moylan, the delayed handoff goes nowhere, but we have penalty markers down in the backfield. In on the tackle, number 66, Jason Swint, the middle guard, and Harold Miller, the defensive tackle.
illegal motion against CB West. It looks like Easton is going to elect to decline the penalty, and they do, and that will bring up 3rd and 10. Well, now that all of the traffic has found its way to the stadium, boy, there's a good crowd, and there's still a lot of people coming across the field. Now, we're not going to get an actual count, I don't think, for a while. The Easton side just about totally filled up.
3rd and long for the Bucks. Moylan drops back, rolls right, pumps once, and now lets it fly. A bullet to the 45-yard line, and it is caught for a 1st down. Looks like number 87, the key receiver on the squad, Roman Fitzmartin, pulling it in. He has 22 yards per reception coming into today's game, and he was met by cornerback Larry Gibson.
You look for your offensive and defensive leaders to make big plays in games like this, and Moylan really does a great job here. He pump fakes once or twice. He shows great patience in picking up Fitzpatrick to convert on a 3rd and 10.
The I formation, Chris Cleland, the up man, and they send the fullback in motion to the right side. That's Steve DeLuca. And now they go to the wingback. Oh, here comes Cleland now with the ball. Over the 50-yard line and up to about the 47-yard line. Close to a 1st down. He'll be about 2 yards short. Dean Jones coming up from the inside linebacker spot, and Harold Miller, the defensive tackle, making the hit.
Boy, watch number 33 come into your screen. Watch this block here. Bang, and that's the way you take out the end. And then nice job turning it upfield. Pickup of about 4 yards on the play for CB West.
Chris Cleland, one of 3 players in the backfield that have played 3 years of varsity football for CB West. He is their leading rusher this season.
I'm sorry, give West 8 yards on that pickup.
2nd and 2, same formation. This time it's Sonsini moving from wing back to tailback, and he takes the pitch. Sonsini to the 40-yard line, and he's dragged down from behind by number 81, Mark Liviano.
You know, Dan, I have to go back to the conversion on 3rd and 10 by Moylan. That has really pumped some life into this CB West offense. You see now their line's starting to do a nice job. You're going to get a look at the replay, but I'll tell you, Moylan's play on 3rd down, with Easton taking the opening kickoff and going into the score, you don't want to go 3 and out in a championship game such as this. Big conversion is leading now to 2 more 1st down, the Bucks on the move.
1st and 10 near the Easton 40-yard line. Moylan rolls against the grain, pumps and lets it fly, and he lets it go out of bounds. Some good secondary coverage by number 34 on the play, Michael Mazzarese, who had number 87 covered like a blanket. That's Fitzmartin.
Boy, it really was. You got to give credit to that secondary there because Moylan had all the time he needed. Number 11, you see him, a 3-year letter winner. Great deal of experience. He's a senior quarterback, 6'3", 195.
2nd and 10 now for CB West. Some impressive opening drives by both teams. Easton electing to keep it on the ground, and CB West primarily going to the air. From the 41, 2nd and 10. Drop back straight for Moylan. He's looking. He can run the ball, and he elects to do so. To the 30. 1st down for CB West.
Good decision by Moylan. He rolled out left, which drew the flow of the defense, and when he circled around to the right, there was really only one rover defender there, and that was taken care of by number 35, Rob Sweat. We saw him work defensively downfield, a key block to spring Moylan 13-yard pickup.
Mike, in the pregame package we did on Central Bucks West, you saw Moylan get his bell rung in the 2nd quarter against CB East. It took him a whole quarter and a few plays in the 3rd quarter to recover from that blow. But as you see tonight, or today, he is not afraid to continue to run the ball. Handoff to Sonsini. 1st and 10. Sonsini dives forward and picks up about 4 yards.
Offensive line for CB West now starting to exert itself just most of the way Easton did in that opening drive. As you watch the replay, let's give him some credit. 54, Mike Lockery. 67, Scott Mills. 73, Matt Malecki. 74, Justin McElwin. 75, Jason Nagy. And 87, Roman Fitzmartin, who we saw convert on that big 3rd down.
Sonsini brings the ball up to actually the 24-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Central Bucks West, unfamiliar with Easton's defensive formation. They call timeout, and Mike Patine comes out on the field and has a few choice words for his quarterback, Greg Moylan.
Well, that's the second timeout they've used already in this half, Dan. You know, if you do come down to a 2-minute drill at the end of the half, you know, that could cost you, and I'm sure he's not real happy with that. Obviously, they were in the wrong formation. They had the wrong people in there for maybe the play that was called, but the bottom line is West has to use their second timeout of the half, and we still have 5:23 remaining in the first quarter.
If you're just joining us, Easton did not win the coin toss. However, CB West deferred to the second half. Easton wanted the ball, and they simply ran the ball 70 yards from start to finish. A 9-play drive that netted Juan Gaddy another touchdown on the season. However, the extra point was no good. Easton leads here in the first quarter, 6-0 with 5 minutes and 23 seconds left to go in the first frame.
Well, you know, I can't help but think, I know we're a long way away, but you know, will that extra point come back to haunt the Red Rovers in a game as evenly matched as this? I mean, you can read whatever you want. I mean, obviously, Easton is on the same level of a highly touted CB West team. Man, 1 point is a big point in a football game like this.
The I formation from the 24-yard line. Cleland is the tailback, and no, they don't. It's a quarterback fake. Here comes Moylan to the 15, the 10, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 7. The man to save that touchdown, number 43 for Easton, Tajaweski. Tajaweski, the free safety, reading that play beautifully.
The key here is a good fake by Moylan. Here, you see it right there. He fakes, and that was just enough to hold people along the right side of the Easton defense. That gives him the corner. He's able to get around to the outside, 17 yards on the play. 2 carries now, 30 yards for quarterback Moylan.
Good news for Easton, it wasn't a touchdown. The bad news, it's 1st and goal from the 7 for Central Bucks West. In motion goes Cleland. The pitch out to Sonsini. Sonsini dancing his way, but he'll get maybe a yard if that. Dean Jones in hot pursuit to bring down Sonsini.
Looked like that play might have been set up a little bit better. I know this man doesn't make the tackle, but the guy who gets the penetration, watch number 33 for the Red Rovers, Jeremy Kleedorfer. He's the guy going to get the first shot. He doesn't get it, but the penetration is what forces. There he is, number 33. That forces him deep, and certainly number 48, Jones, we all know that number, comes in to finish him off.
Dean Jones, one of 5 two-way performers for Easton. From second down, and the 7-yard line. Moylan rolls left, he's under pressure, cuts inside, he's still on his feet, and he makes it into the end zone.
7 yards for the touchdown.
But back against the grain, Dean Jones.
We are tied with 4 minutes and 31 seconds to play here in the first quarter, and what a run by Greg Moylan, who could very well be a halfback or maybe even a fullback with the size that he is, Mike.
Well, you run into that a lot, too. You know, you run into, I mean, there's a good athlete there. He could play a lot of different positions, and certainly when you can throw the ball, you want him right where he is. The defense overruns, over-pursues, and any good back will cut back against the green or against the grain and cause you to miss. Moylan scampers into the end zone.
Moylan holds for Patterson, and the extra point is good. CB West pulls ahead 7-6 with 4:31 to play here in the first quarter. Greg Moylan punching it in from 7 yards out. Here it is.
And number 11 is the key guy in this drive. The play action, now you see him rolling left. It's good coverage in the secondary, but there's a good athletic move. Now there's another good athletic move. There's another one cutting back against the grain and into the end zone, and you have to keep in mind the 3rd down conversion in their own territory that kept this drive alive. The score comes with 4:31 remaining in the first quarter, an 11-play drive, 8 on the ground, 3 in the air, covering 67 yards. Moylan taking it in from 7 yards out. The extra point good, and that is the difference in the game at this point. 7-6, CB West.
CB West on their initial drive showing the good balance that got them to the state playoff game.
Well, no question. And Dan, as I look around, I mean, we're winding down here. 4:31 remaining in the first quarter. People still filing into Goodman Stadium. The west side now pretty well taken care of in the middle 3 to 4 sections. The eastern side just about packed. And as I look across the way in the fields, still more coming in.
The kickoff from Patterson. It's fielded by Gaddy at his own 3-yard line. And Gaddy works his way backwards to the 27-yard line. Return of 24 yards for Juan Gaddy.
Well, it has been punch and counter punch. Now Easton came out with the opening blow, and now the second one comes. CB West scoring, and now Easton's turn offensively.
That was Bob Wolf coming up to make the tackle. According to Mike Bettine, Wolf is his biggest surprise of the season. Didn't have a whole lot of size last year as a junior, but here as a senior, he weighs in at 190 pounds on a 6-foot frame.
Two great drives by two good offenses here. CB West drive, 11 plays, took up 3:31 off the clock. Easton's 9-play drive, they ran the ball a little more, took up 3:55 of the first quarter clock.
Here come the Red Rovers, down by a point from their own 27, 1st and 10. Billman loses the ball. He still hands it off, and it's still loose. And they rule it down at the 25-yard line. Easton dodges a bullet and maintains possession.
Well, they really do, and I don't like this rule, but watch what happens when Billman drops the football. Watch, now he drops it. Now he's going to go down on a knee. There's the knee on the ground. He is down. And that's where that rule is going to go in Easton's favor. That is a break for the Red Rovers, because you see Billman was trying to still get the handoff off, and he did, but fumbled it. A break for the Red Rovers.
Loss of 2 yards. They safely hand it to Gaddy this time. Gaddy may have picked up a yard before he's met by Chris Fassbender, the hardest hitter and the top defender on the CB West squad.
Boy, I got to give a lot of credit to the officials on that play, Dan. Really on top of it. That could be a big turning point in this game. And as you can see by the replay, clearly called properly by the officials on the field.
3rd down and 9 for the Red Rovers. Gain of 3 for Gaddy on the last play. Split backfield. They go to number 20. And he is met right at the line of scrimmage. That was Larry Gibson. And Rob Sweat coming up to make the hit on Gibson.
And the Red Rovers yet to put the football into the air. You see Sweat, number 35, is going to come in and fill. That's nice contact there. And Easton now will have to give up the football.
3 downs and out. On 4th and 7, they'll punt. The punt by number 87, Sean Shoup. And it's going to hit the ground in front of Matt Cincini and roll to about the 30 and then some for Easton. CB West will take possession at their own 28-yard line.
Well, you need to come up and field that football. When they let it hit the ground, it costs you another 8-9 yards on the punt. Easton, a nice job. Now the defense going to have to come in and play strong. A 41-yard punt with no returns. And that is our first punt of the game.
The CB West offense averaging 30.5 points per game. And if you break down how many plays they run, how many they pass, well, coming into this game, they run 78% of the time. However, we've seen a lot of passing being done by Moylan. Let's see what happens this time around. From their own 29, they send Cincini in motion, and they hand off to the fullback. That's 33, Dave Binder. Binder leaning forward for a gain of about 3 yards. He's met by Mark Libiano, who's making a lot of tackles out there today, and nose guard Keith Heimbach.
Yeah, and the defense now is going to have to come up big for the Red Rovers. They need to try and see what adjustments they make to try and stop the CB West offense, which took the kick or the score right down. You look at number 21, Juan Gaddy.
2 men out wide to the left, Cincini, number 8, and Roman Fitzpatrick. Fitzmartin. And now Moylan's looking for one of them. He lets it fly to Fitzmartin, and Fitzmartin has the first down at the CB West 43.
Cincini and Fitzmartin are all both wide left. Cincini runs a deep out. Martin runs a short out. You see Moylan with all kind of time offensively there. His line doing a nice job in the short out open. And now Fitzmartin with his second reception here in the first quarter.
Checking in now, Ryan Moore, number 42, Steve DeLuca. Moore wearing number 81. 1st and 10 from their own 42-yard line. Single back set behind Moylan. And now Cincini in motion, gets the handoff and rolls to his right. Tries to cut inside, and he is flattened by number 76. That's Merrill Fennell. The inside linebacker, 6'1", 220 pounds, only a junior.
at the 42.
Well, that's a big play by Fennell, number 76, coming in, because CB West had done a nice job on the end. Watch the good push they get on the end out here on the reverse or end around to Cincinnati. But there you see a good kick out there, but a nice fill inside by Fennell.
Second and 10. No gain on the play. From the I formation, they fake to Cleland. Now Moylan lets it fly under pressure. Up for grabs and incomplete, and now a late flag. Cincinnati sacked by number 81. That was Mark Liviano, but we have a late flag near the quarterback.
Now Liviano is the first time, this is the first pressure they get on Moylan, and now they're going to throw it away. Watch what happens here. Liviano's just going to get a great push upfield. Now all of that's okay, and we're not going to see it. And then right about now, Liviano just takes an extra fling at the quarterback, and as a result, he's going to get flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct.
That one hurts. It would have been 3rd and 10.
Well, those are some of the things that I alluded to earlier. You need to control your emotions in big football games. You're getting pumped up, you work yourself up to a frenzy almost to play in these games, but you still have to control yourself. You still have to play within yourself. Easton, we'll see if now they can overcome that little mistake.
3rd and 10 from about their own 43. Now becomes 1st and 10 from the Easton 43.
I think the real key thing there is Easton was finally able to get some pressure on Moylan, and they're going to need to continue that.
Moylan drops back, look out! And there's a 12-yard loss provided by number 33, Jeremy Kleedorfer, the most improved player at strong safety on Bob Schreiber's squad. What a tremendous play.
Kleedorfer comes on a blitz. CB West does not pick it up. Kleedorfer comes untouched, and a big play, and that's a good call defensively by the Red Rovers. Moylan has been having all the time he wants back there. I think they got to make some adjustments and start coming a little bit more so that he starts to feel a little pressure.
2nd down and 21. CB West almost back to the original line of scrimmage. Now Moylan rolls, looks, lets it go deep. He's got a man at Cincinnati, and it's caught. CB West, 1st and 10 at the Easton 14-yard line.
Well, I can see why this young man was a second-team All-Stater last year already. A catch like that, a lot of times you don't see made on the high school level. And what I mean is that he makes an adjustment to the football. This ball is thrown off the money. It's well covered by 2 Red Rovers defenders, but number 8 goes after it, and he gets it. Cincinnati, a great adjustment.
Mike, that was sheer speed that allowed Cincinnati to simply get open. We are out of time here in the first quarter, where it's Central Bucks West leading Easton by a point, 7-6. We'll be right back for the second quarter right after this. Welcome back to Goodman Stadium. Let's go right back down to the action on the field. The start of the second quarter, and CB West threatens to put 6 more points on the board. 1st and 10 from the 14 of Easton. In motion goes number 42, DeLuca. Now the pitch out to Cleland. Cleland's met at the line of scrimmage and brought down. Number 87, one of the first men in, Sean Shoup, along with Jason Swint.
Well, this is certainly a key defensive series right now for the people in red and white as you look at them there. First quarter stats, Easton, 7 first downs. Let's take a look at the replay while I go over this. 7 first downs, 49 yards rushing. This is CB West. 7 first downs, 49 yards rushing, 58 passing, 107 yards. For Easton, 3 first downs, 73 yards rushing, no yards passing. I think the Rover offensive attack needs a little bit better balance there between pass and run.
Second and nearly 10. Moylan rolls right, looking end zone. He's got some. Oh, he's pulled down from behind by number 69, Harold Miller. Harold Miller, one of those unsung heroes on the Easton front line, a defensive tackle, 6'4", 202 pounds. He's a senior.
Second sack of Moylan here this afternoon, and then both of them coming within the last 4 plays. So Easton doing a better job up front there defensively. You're going to see number 69 Miller just able to grab onto his shirt and drag him down to the ground. I think Moylan might have had an open receiver a little early. He just didn't have the timing to it. And CB West now is going to use their 3rd timeout.
Holy smokes. 3 timeouts coming and going, and we're only 10:40 left to play here in the 2nd quarter. There's Bob Shriver, the head coach of the Easton Red Rovers, wondering what it's going to take to stop this CB West offense.
Well, we'll see what they come up with, but while we do have a timeout, let's cover now the rest of the state championship games in the different classifications now. And all these games being played today in the 3A classification, Conestoga Valley from the east at 12-1 versus Shamokin 13-0. The winner of that one will move on and play the western winner, which will either be Erie Strong Vincent at 13-1 or Blackhawk. Blackhawk is 12-0-1. In the, by the way, in the 3A classification, Bethlehem Catholic, the defending state champ, did not qualify for the tournament. In the 2A classification, Hanover area, the only team able to defend their championship. They are the defending champs at 12-0. Will be taking on West York at 13-0. And for those of you following Catasauqua, that's why they did not get an invite. You see 2 teams undefeated. The winner there advances against Aliquippa, 11-2, 2nd time in the States. The winner of Aliquippa or Forest Hills at 14-0. And quickly in the single A, Schuylkill Haven versus Southern Columbia in the East. Rochester at 13-1 is playing Smethport at 12-1 out west.
A big play, 3rd and 11 for CB West. They're now back at their own, at the Easton 16. Moylan rolls left, looks, lets it fly. It's going to be up for grabs, and it's incomplete. The intended receiver, Roman Fitzmartin, and he had a red shirt all over him. I believe it was number 34, Michael Mazzarese.
Yeah, that's some good defensive work down there. Now we will see. This will be 4th now, and 4th and 11 for the first, and
they're not going to kick. They're going to go for it.
Okay, well, obviously, and again, we don't have an opportunity to follow CB West, so we don't know what their kicking game is like. They would be going into, you know, what is a pretty good breeze, so Coach Pettin is going for the first.
They have a receiver split wide to the left. Moylan, can he reach him that far? He pumps once, lets it fly to the middle. It's wrestle between 2 players. Incomplete is the call. Easton will take over. Ed Tajaweski doing some wrestling with Matt Cincini for the ball, enough so that the ball fell to the ground. Well, incomplete.
This is some kind of play by Tajaweski here. Cincini just curls right around the 1st down marker there, and you see he actually has that, but Tajaweski comes in and strips the arm away, forcing the football out in a big, big defensive effort by the Red Rovers.
A tremendous play by Tajaweski, who is virtually prone as the ball came into Cincini's hands, and he still managed to knock it away from him. Here comes Easton. The handoff to Gaddy. And Gaddy was sniffing a long chance there, but he's met early and gains only a couple after met by Ryan Moore.
Well, that's some kind of play by number 81, Ryan Moore. He takes on the pulling right guard and right tackle and just stuffs the play, sheds the blockers, and gets to Gaddy to hold him to a 2-yard gain.
And we have another timeout on the field. Looks like we have a slight injury on a CB West team or an equipment adjustment, one of the two.
Yeah, it certainly cannot be a timeout called by CB West, as they are out of them. You know, they have no more left, so.
That's Chris Fassbender being attended to. Again, the hardest hitter according to head coach Pettin, and the top defender on this squad at the inside linebacker position. And reluctantly, Fassbender is cajoled to come on over to the sidelines for at least one play.
Yeah, well, you know, you work all season long, and, you know, you get a little ding when you're out there. You don't want to come out of a football game like this, and you see reluctantly, as you say, Dan, go into the sidelines, but I'm sure we're going to see number 43 back in the lineup again.
Making a stop on Gaddy, Matt Malecki. Fassbender, a 6', 205-pound linebacker. And you can bet that Pettin will want to see him back in the game as soon as possible. Oh, look at this, the double handoff now. And the recipient of it all is Nate Dominy. Correction, Michael Mazzarese, the ball carrier. Mazzarese averaging 8.4 yards a carry, but he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage on that one before he's met by Dave Binder.
Misdirection again. You see the right guard and right tackle pulling, but the mix-up comes in the backfield. You see you need room. It looked like Gaddy might have gotten a little tight there, or either number 34 Mazzarese a little bit too wide. You see him try and make something out of it, but the timing was destroyed with that little collision in the backfield.
From the 16, it's 3rd down and about 9. And another mixed-up handoff to Gaddy goes nowhere.
Now, Easton coming unglued a little bit offensively. I mean, you're in the state Eastern Regionals right now, and you have backs running into each other. This is not that difficult of a play, and you're going to see Billman and Gaddy are going to brush each other there. You see one looking for an inside handoff and the other looking for an outside handoff, and Easton's going to have to give up the football again.
Gordon and Moore on the tackles. Here comes the punt, and getting it away, number 87, Shoot. It's fielded by Cincini at about the Easton 47. And he is pulled down at the 45. CB West has good field position on the punt as they start their drive in Easton territory.
Well, and the defense for Easton's going to have to come up big again because of the 3 and out offensively. Now CB West will have excellent field position here to start this drive. A 30-yard punt with a 3-yard return puts the football at the Easton 44-yard line.
No relief in sight for the Easton defenders either. There's 9 minutes, 9 seconds left to play here in the second quarter, and they've been on the field an awful lot this first half. Here comes the handoff now to Cincini. They call him the Flea because of his size and his speed, and Cincini makes his way up to the 38-yard line before he's met by Larry Gibson.
Well, what they don't measure when they put you on those scales is the weight of your heart, and certainly Cincini is not afraid to turn it inside, to run it upfield. Number 8's going out for a little breather, but Cincini is a true all-state candidate. You see, they make an adjustment. They get him from the wing to the tail, and then they just try and get him to the outside, try and take advantage of his speed. But a young man not afraid to take a hit in traffic.
5'6", 150 pounds. Now they go to Cleland down the middle. And Cleland picks up a few yards, bringing the ball up to about the 33-yard line. That'll be a CB West first down, or let's just say it'll be close to a first down. Harold Miller there to make the tackle, along with Merrill Fennell.
It's going to depend on the spot. It's going to be real close, but either way, CB West just power football, just wedging in the middle there. I think it's close enough for a measurement.
And that's exactly what will take place. The ball marked near the 33-yard line, 34-yard line of Easton. And here comes the chain gang to measure it out. You know, Mike, you can't say enough about head coach Mike Pettin of CB West, now in his 25th year of coaching football at this school. He was there when the two schools, CB East and CB West, split up and became what they are today. 215 wins, 35 losses, and 4 ties. And get this, a national record 53 consecutive wins between 1984 and 1988. Throw into that fray 16 league titles, and this his 13th undefeated regular season.
Well, I think that's the thing that's unbelievable. I mean, you're there for 25 years. 13 of those years you're unbeaten. You win 16 league titles, including 11 in the Bucks Mountain League and 4 of 5 in the newly formed Suburban 1 title. So certainly to win a Suburban 1 championship, the road to the championship goes through CB West.
No doubt about it. It's about an inch short of a first down.
Well, and this really gives you all kind of options. Coach Pettin here, you know, you go a little play action, catch the defense overplaying in the inside. We'll see what he goes for.
A tight formation, backs are split. This is 3rd and inches, and a handoff to Cleland. First down, CB West.
Well, they just pound it out for the first down and keep the chains moving.
In to make the stop, Nick Azzolina. 5'4", 250 pounds. He's a senior. Let's take a look.
8 first downs, and you can just see just wedge blocking, area blocking up in front. Just get some movement off the football and let Cleland drive for what was less than a yard, but he wound up picking up about 3 or 4 on the play.
Now they split him out wide. Roman Fitzmartin next to Cincini to the left, and Moylan rolls that way. He pumps once and then goes deep. He's got Fitzmartin. It's incomplete. Knocked down by number 34 with the body, Michael Mazzarese, who really didn't know where the ball was, but happened to be in the right spot at the right time.
Well, Mazzarese does a great thing here. Not only, you know, the pump fake freezes him a little bit, but now he's got to turn and run with Fitzmartin. But now when the football's up, you know, he doesn't know where it is. But right there, when he turns, he avoids a possible interference call, because if you face guard that man, that is really great anticipation to turn, and he almost came up with the interception. Mazzarese, another big defensive effort.
Bring up a 2nd and 10 situation, still at the 31 of Easton. Cincini, the wing back. Here he comes, and he gets the handoff on the reverse. He looks the pass, and then he runs. And he's stopped at the line of scrimmage. Reading the play beautifully, Larry Gibson, the cornerback.
Well, number 20 in red, Larry Gibson, you know, he plays behind Juan Gaddy offensively. This is truly a good athlete, could start for most of the teams in this state, except that he plays behind Gaddy. This play is blocked real well downfield. Great fill by number 20, Larry Gibson.
Larry Gibson, the hero of the game in week number 4 against Becca High. Both teams tied 13-13 after 3 quarters. Easton without the services of Juan Gaddy, who had bruised his thigh against Allen in the week prior. And Easton coming up big with a 28-13 win there. 3rd and 7 now for Central Bucks West. Passing situation for Moylan. He looks, he throws, he fires, and it's complete to the second man. That's Cincini. He's still on his feet. First down for Central Bucks West as Cincini makes his way all the way down to the 12-yard line.
Well, the flea is having a little bit of fun right now, and you can see his diminutive size right there as some of his teammates come over to congratulate him. This throw by Moylan is right on the money. Not intended there. You can clearly see that Moylan was going to Cincini, and now you get a look at some of the moves there, forcing some people to miss. And when you're a small guy like that, you need those moves because you can't afford to get too many hits dead on you. CB West moving the football again.
Tadjewski and Jones making the hit.
9th first down for the Bucks.
And they are in scoring position once again, deep in the red zone. 1st and 10 from the Easton 12. And it's the handoff to, no, it's a fake. Moylan takes it and gets clobbered. Not only did Moylan get clobbered, but his blocking back, Kegler, or rather Sweat, also got hammered by Jason Swint.
Well, you know, you're starting to see some people on that defense starting to maybe drag a little bit. They're spending a lot of time on the field here in the first half. You see the fake inside draws the defense, but does not fool number 66, Swint, who comes in there and makes a key defensive play. But, you know, since that opening drive by Easton, the kickoff, they took the kickoff and went in for the score, Easton has yet to come up with a first down. They have yet to move the chains. They've had to punt the ball away twice, and this defense all of a sudden is spending an awful lot of time on that field.
That was Libiano shaking Rob Sweat off him like a little bug. 2nd and 10. From the 13, Moylan, the delayed handoff. We got flags down, and Cincini goes nowhere. Say hello to Mark Libiano. What a game he is having defensively.
Now, there's a size mismatch, and certainly the draw does not fool anybody. Easton really standing home doing a nice job. You see it set up. There is a penalty marker on the play, and I believe it's going to be a legal procedure against CB West, which is declined. And Easton will take the play and the loss on the play. You see Libiano number 81 and Cincini number 8. 4-yard loss on the play. Easton will take it. Will bring up 3rd and 14 with the football on the Easton 17-yard line.
Another huge play for Central Bucks West, and they've come through. Timeout called by Easton rather quickly by number 81, Mark Libiano, who was emphatic about it. They had Cincini split wide to the right with nobody on him as Gibson was hustling to get out there to cover him. Well, Libiano doing the smart thing.
You know, you don't know how you lose a guy like number 8, except that he is so small. Cincini just kind of snuck out to the sidelines, and I'll tell you what really makes this play unsuccessful is the fact that Cincini starts jumping up and down and it alerts the Easton Red Rover bench to the fact that he's out there some 20 yards right with nobody within 15 yards of him, and Easton alertly does then get a timeout to make the necessary adjustment.
An unwanted timeout now called by Easton, but a necessary one nonetheless.
Well, you know, Dan, really, you know, if you look over this first half, we have 5:29 still to play here, and if Easton is able to get out of this first half and be trailing only 7-6, I mean, they have really had the worst of it since that opening drive where they scored those 6 points. I think you have to be a little happy with that. They have still not thrown a pass in this football game offensively, and their only first downs have come in that opening drive where Gaddy did score from 8 yards out.
Earlier this week, Bob Schreiber in the newspapers mentioned this is the challenge you play the game for. Only 4 teams are left. The one who wants it most will survive. The ones just satisfied to be here will lose. Now it's time to see who wants it more. Here comes Central Bucks West now. 3rd and 14. Moylan drops back down the middle. He goes. It's incomplete. A little miscommunication between he and Roman Fitzmartin, who was looking one way. The ball was actually behind him.
Well, that's what it was. The throw was behind, but there were 2 Red Rovers defender around the football, and I think it forces Moylan to not lead Fitzmartin here in this situation. You're going to see here, if he leads it, well, Fitzmartin never picked the football up. He looked back a little bit late. That throw was actually on the money, but you could see Fitzmartin was looking back, and the ball was basically by him. 4th down now and 14, the ball on the Easton 17-yard line.
And CB West is going for 4th and long again. The handoff, no, it's not. It's a pass to the end zone. Touchdown to Cleveland. Surprise, surprise. 4th and long. They fake the reverse to Cincinnati, and there's Cleveland alone and lonely in the end zone. Another 6 points for Central Bucks West. It's now 13-6 with the extra point in waiting.
Well, again, and the key here is you run a fake reverse. You roll your quarterback out. There's Coach Patton along the along the sidelines. You know, you fake a reverse, you roll out right, and nobody gets close to your quarterback. The time Moylan had for that play to develop was just what made the play successful. Cleveland caved on a crossing pattern. Good for the not only the 4th down conversion, but the touchdown for CB West.
And Mike, now we tend to understand why CB West hadn't had a field goal until last Thanksgiving against CB East. They just like to put 6 on the board. And they'll use every opportunity to do just that.
Well, they've passed up really what, you know, we have seen numerous kickers throughout the year could reach as far as a field goal. They have passed it up twice now, and, you know, really if they would have converted both of them, they're even, because they're 1 and 2 on the touchdown conversions, as Moylan to Cleveland scores here to put them up 13-6. And this is certainly a key conversion here for CB West.
Patterson, the kicker, there he is on the field. It's taking a little long to get set up here as the chief official heads over to the Central Bucks West side to confer with Petton. Well, they are pointing at the scoreboard. Perhaps they are having problems keeping the time here at Goodman Stadium. Here comes the extra point attempt. The holder is the quarterback, Moylan. The kicker, John Patterson. His only field goal, a 25-yarder last week. This is the extra point attempt. And it is good. Just inside the left upright.
Well, yeah, because the officials underneath kind of looked at each other, and yeah, it barely was good, but a big one. Score comes with 5:12 remaining in the half. Plenty of time for the Easton offense to get back on track. 10 play drives, 6 on the ground, 4 in the air, covering 44 yards. This play right here on the fake. Now look at the time Moylan has. Look at him. I mean, he can stand back there and have a little bit of a picnic, and it allows number 21 Cleveland to come clear across the field and just outrace the defender. 17 yards on the touchdown reception, the extra point good, and it puts now CB West up by 8, 14-6.
Now, we did see some tailgating action here around Goodman Stadium. A lot of the fans showing up early. 7,000 pre-sold tickets. Both schools selling out their bunch. And, of course, lots of seats available here at Goodman Stadium. And the folks are filling up many of those seats, as you can see.
Well, it's amazing. We're getting near halftime, and there still are people filtering in, coming in across the field here. And certainly this is a great, great football game against 2 great programs.
Patterson lets it fly, and it's brought down by number 31. That's Billy Carter. And Carter underneath that pile of humanity, brings the ball up to about the 27-yard line.
Well, we will see now what Easton does. Still yet to attempt to pass. 12 yards on the return.
That was Chris Fassbender and Jason Williamson coming up to make the hit, along with a slew of others after the fact. 1st and 10 now from their own 28. The Red Rovers will try to match the output of this most adept CB West team. They trail 14-6. The handoff, Gaddy met and plowed under.
Boy, and
Rob Sweat first man in, and Ryan Moore finishing off the job.
Well, it seems Sweat seems to be the first guy there a lot of times. I mean, there's the guy who controls the middle of that line of scrimmage from that linebacker position. You're going to see trying to spring Gaddy on some up, and look at the good penetration that Sweat gets into the backfield. He threw Gaddy for a 1-yard loss.
You know, Mike, the CB West defensive line may be giving away about 35 pounds per head out there, but they are awfully fast off the draw. Here comes Billman. First pass intercepted by number 25. That's Flezar. Flezar brought out of bounds at the 20. And this CB West machine will not stop.
Give credit to the pressure. You'll see Billman now attempting his first pass. Goes play action, and look, it barely timed to set up and has to set and fire and throws it into traffic. Number 25, Flezar, on the interception from his outside linebacker position. Our first turnover of the afternoon.
That may have been Gaddy coming back to make the tackle. Couldn't quite see the number. It was Juan Gaddy saving perhaps a touchdown on the bring down of Flezar. And now Central Bucks West with the ball on the Easton 20-yard line. We have an injured Buck on the field. Number 50, Justin Gordon, the starting defensive tackle. He's a 5'11", 205-pound junior. And he may have got cracked in the back as they're checking that area right now. I wonder if CB West borrowed their mascot from the NBA team. Is that Bango the Buck out there? Wearing 00?
Well, their nickname is the Bucks, so he's over there. The Buck is in there, and they're happy across the sidelines over there. I mean, they have an opportunity here to really put some distance between themselves and Easton. Keep in mind, they have used all of their timeouts, but not important here with the football on the Easton 20-yard line. I mean, we still have 4:20 remaining in the half, so CB West with plenty of time here to get more points in the first half.
Two wide out split to the left. Moylan from the right hash mark the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. And he hands off. This one to the fullback, number 33, Dave Binder. The leading scorer on this team with 12 touchdowns, picks up about 2 yards on the carry before he's met by Joey Jones and Keith Heimbach.
Keith Heimbach, excellent penetration. Little deal run by the defense. Heimbach says stunts, gets himself a little hole between the guard and the center there, and is able to get into the backfield. Give CB West 2 yards, 1 yard on the gain.
Coming into the game for CB West, number 42, Steve DeLuca, number 81, Ryan Moore. Moore split to the right on the weak side. From the 18, 2nd and 8. Moylan, no handoff. He holds on to the ball. 10, the 5, and he dances out of bounds at about the 3-yard line. Greg Moylan, just as effective on his feet as he is in the air. Larry Gibson was the one to force him out of bounds.
Well, there's no question. This is a cool and calm young man. As we watch the replay here, they're going to play fake there to the fullback, and a nice kick out. That was number 73, Matt Malecki, who gets the kick out on the end and allows Moylan to cut inside and towards the goal line. 15-yard pickup on the play. Now 7 carries, 40 yards for Moylan.
1st and goal now from the 3-yard line. 3 back, full house backfield. And this carry is brought to about the 1-yard line by Chris Cleland before he's turned back at the 1. Dave Binder in to make the stop. Dave Binder, the ball carrier, correction on that, and he is met by Harold Miller.
Good defensive charge by number 69, Miller, who gets the penetration upfield, and certainly Easton needs a goal line stand here. Approaching 3 minutes.
2nd and goal from the 1. The handoff to Binder, and Binder is over the goal line. Touchdown, Bucks. Dave Binder scoring his 13th touchdown of the season. One of the toughest players on this Bucs squad, a 3-year starter, and also a two-way performer. He's a key member of that defensive line as well.
Well, that picture right there, the scoreboard tells the story. Now the Bucs scoring twice here within a matter of minutes. 2:56 to play in the half.
Moylan lining up the extra point attempt for Patterson. This one a little truer, right through the uprights. Another 7-point effort for Central Bucs West on a drive that started on the Easton 20 thanks to an interception. The score now 21-6 in favor of the Bucs.
Nothing fancy. Back leading into play. You see number 33 going to get into the end zone, just getting some movement downfield. Binder will take it in. 2:56 still to play here in the half. 4 plays after the interception, the turnover. All 4 on the ground, covered to 20 yards. Binder into the end zone from 1 yard out. The extra point again good. And CB West now starting to break things open. 21-6.
Mike, I'm a little shocked at the goings-on here this morning. I thought that, if anything, this was going to be a defensive grind-them-out kind of battle, which it originally started out to be, with Easton having to drive 70 yards on the first possession and picking up the initial touchdown of the game. But ever since then, this ball game has belonged to CB West.
Well, and the defense for CB West is the one that's doing it for them. I mean, the offense has scored now twice, but the defense set up the second one. The defense gave them good field position on the first one, and the offense has just not made any mistakes. Easton offensively is held without a first down since that opening drive where they produced 6 points, and that's the difference in the game. The CB West defense is playing the best football right now.
Look at this. One of the up men fielding the ball. That's number 40, bringing it up to about the 40, Robert Woody. And the ball, they'll mark it down at about the 44-yard line. He is met by Roman Fitzmartin. Woody running a lot of east and west, but getting the job done nonetheless.
14-yard return. I think he ran some 30 yards from one side of the field to the other, but bottom line is Easton will have good field position. We'll see now if they can move into position to come up with some points here before the end of the half. And certainly that could be a key turnaround, because to go into the locker room with a little bit more momentum than certainly what they have now. It's all on CB West side.
From their own 44, 2:49 to work with here in the first half. Gaddy gets turned around. He stays on his feet and is finally brought down at the 48. You never know when Juan Gaddy's down until he completely stops moving.
Well, I think one of the real key things here now, Easton, if they're going to stay, you know, and challenge for this football game, is that they do not panic. That Gaddy doesn't try and score a touchdown every time he runs. You're going to see him try and dance out of some tackles here. Look at how hard he is to get down when you try and tackle him high. I think Easton is not out of this football game if they don't panic. They just got to start moving it offensively.
2nd down, 6 for the Red Rovers. The ball in their own 48, and it's Gaddy diving over the midfield stripe to about the Central Bucs 48, where he's met by Chris Fassbender.
Yes.
That'll bring up a third and 2 situation for the Red Rovers. 1:50 showing on the clock, which continues to move.
Andy Himmelwright directing this afternoon's telecast.
Single back set. 2 wideouts to the right. The pitch out to Gaddy. Gaddy follows his blockers, and he picks up the Easton first down, bringing the ball up to about the 44-yard line.
And just the 4th Red Rover first down of the half, the first one since the opening drive of the football game.
How about that?
You're going to see a nice job done on the end there, getting some movement downfield. Gaddy getting inside that little seam to pick up the 4th first down for the Red Rovers.
Outside linebacker Steve DeLuca making the tackle, and what a linebacking core it is for CB West. Here's the pitch now to Gaddy on the left side. Gaddy into that linebacking core once again to about the 35-yard line. And he's about 2 yards short of a first down. Easton stops the clock, calling timeout with 1:11 left to play. The hit made by Jason Williamson.
Well, clearly Easton trying to break number 21. The package of speed and power now. A nice turnout block there on the outside. Look at a good job by Gaddy of hanging on to the football. I mean, it takes 4 people in white to bring him down, but Easton now using one of their 2 remaining timeouts will leave them 1. They have time yet to get themselves some momentum going in here. 1:11 still to play in the half.
Mike, if anything, the Red Rovers seem less panic-stricken now that they're down by quite a bit than they were before. And there's only 1:11 left to go, but they're working the ball well on this drive.
Well, and I think that is so key, Dan, because if they panic here, they run the risk of getting blown out. I mean, they just have to get back to basics. Coach Shriver has to get them to understand that there's a full, half of football plus what's left here in this half, and they are not out of it. They are an explosive offense. They need to get a little momentum, maybe make some adjustments in halftime, but certainly they still have an opportunity to win this football game.
There's the Red Rover. I want to see him mix it up with the Buck. We'll see what happens at halftime. 15-point difference now between Easton and Central Bucks West. 21-6 the score. 1:11 to play here in the first half. Easton threatening. They have the ball on the Central Bucks West 36-yard line. The rollout. Billman holds on to the ball. He's got an opening. And he kind of waddles on down to the 27-yard line. I think he may have tripped himself up.
Well, Easton now hurrying to the line of scrimmage to get another play off.
They get the first down, and the hurry-up offense goes into effect.
Clock stops while they move the chains in high school football.
1st and 10 from the 27. And the Bucks are a little confused on defense. Now they straighten out. The pitch out to Gaddy on the left side. He dances, looking for some room, and gets none. A key tackle by number 25, Fleazar. And I'll tell you what, had Gaddy gotten past Fleazar, I don't think there was anybody left to stop him.
Well, here's a situation I think Gaddy gets a little bit too close to the line of scrimmage on the toss. When you toss that back to Gaddy, you want him to stay back. Here's, first of all, the option by Billman, and this is a result of having that defense. Look at the end cheat to Gaddy. He's not even concerned about the quarterback. Billman finding all kind of room, and boy, if he keeps his feet, you don't know what happens there because he still has Gaddy downfield as the pitch man. But now then on the second play, we're going to see Gaddy. I think he gets a little too close to the line of scrimmage. He runs that pitch. Watch what he does. Toss sweep is designed to give you time to read. Now watch how quickly he's up into that line of scrimmage trying to beat it, and as a result, his lineman's a little confused there, and a good defensive effort by CB West number 25, Fleazar.
Mike, I have to think now in retrospect, Billman didn't really care to keep his feet. He was just looking for that first down, knowing it would stop the clock and move the chains and get the job done for Easton.
Well, don't know about that because there was a player coming in from the outside that looked like he was going to get a good block. It looked like he just got a soft field, and when he tried to plant with that left foot, couldn't move because that block maybe could have, sprung him for a touchdown.
Single back set. It's Gaddy.
Red Rovers now out of timeouts.
2 receivers split wide to the right. Billman pitches it loose in the backfield. Gaddy can't find it. It's recovered by Central Bucks West. Rob Sweat picking up the ball near the midfield stripe, and Central Bucks West simply douses the threat. They take over the ball on their own 48.
Well, the option again, and look at Billman. I think he makes a little bit too early of a decision there. The end is taken inside, and he pitches it immediately. Probably a predetermined call where there was no option on the end, and you can see that Gaddy and he not having the communication there, and the ball rolling loose, and CB West will take over with 35 seconds, now 34 and counting with no timeouts.
30 seconds to play here in the first half, and Moylan is going for it all. He goes deep. He's got a man. It's Fitzmartin. It's just out of his reach near the far sideline. Fitzmartin seeing the ball land near him at about the 10-yard line. I would say it was about a 40-yard throw in the air, if not more than that, Mike.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, over across the way, Coach Pettin from CB West knows that Easton is down. They're not feeling real good about themselves right now, and sure, he's got a 21-6 lead, but he is looking to win this football game, and that is a gutsy call right there. He attacked. He knows that Easton's got its head down a little bit, and he's still attacking him. He's trying to score more points.
Receiver split wide, and now Cleveland gets the handoff. He loses the ball. Easton's got it. And it's still loose. two Rovers with their hands on the ball. I believe it was Libiano making a few yards of gain on the ball, and he might have lost the handle as well, but Easton gets the ball in Central Bucks territory. Let's take a look.
We're going to watch the replay here. It's Libiano who makes the play. Easton trying to make the play, or getting in now. There's just 15 seconds to play in the half.
That was Joey Jones making the fumble, the forced fumble. And now the play by Easton. A quick throw out of bounds to stop the clock. That throw made to Bob Shriver standing on the sidelines. All that had to do was stop the clock. It'll be 2nd and 10 now for Easton with 11 seconds left to play in the first half. Credit Joey Jones, and once again, for forcing that fumble, and Mark Libiano, the final Red Rover, to get his hands on it and give Easton possession.
Bob Shriver pacing the sidelines. Yeah, Libiano on that play tried to create something. Knowing the time's running out, he tried to lateral it over to Jones and try and make a big play out of it. We will see now Easton maybe look for a screen here to Gaddy. Something underneath, maybe a prevent defense to try and let him do something then and running it into the end zone.
Here comes the drop back now by Billman. Billman lets it fly for all he's got. There's Libiano. Incomplete. Some good coverage by number 87, Roman Fitzmartin. Those two ends have been duking it out all day long. Libiano wearing 81 in red, Fitzmartin number 87 in white.
Watch number 81 now, Libiano coming into your living room and then running out. Good defensive coverage there by number 87 in white, Fitzmartin.
5 seconds showing on the clock. Once again, Easton trailing 21-6 after scoring the first 7 points of the ball game after kickoff. Two backs split from the Central Bucks 42. It's 3rd and 10. Billman goes cross field. What's this? Gaddy receives it and now has the open field, but he's met at about the 40-yard line by number 42, Steve DeLuca.
Well defensed by CB West. I'm impressed with the discipline there defensively. Easton showing him all kind of movement right, trying to get it back to Gaddy, not to fool that CB West defense.
Well, the trick play does not work. Easton will have to regroup in the second half. It's Central Bucks West leading this ball game 21-6. We'll be right back. In the shadow of South Mountain, welcome back to Goodman Stadium on the Lehigh University campus in Bethlehem. It is Central Bucks West ahead of Easton 21-6 after one half of play. And here come the Red Rovers, and they hope to do to the Bucks what they just did to that banner, but it's going to take some doing. Let's take a look at what a balanced attack will do for you. Here's Central Bucks West in action on their second touchdown, Mike.
Well, we will take a look at some good play action. Sissona, you're going to see, is going to come in motion, and that freezes everybody. But the main thing here is look at the time Moylan has after that. Nobody getting any pressure on him. Allows Cleland on a crossing pattern to just beat the defender, and that is a big play in that first half, as that was 4th and 14 for a first down and 4th and 17 for a touchdown, and CB West converted, and that really just took a lot of wind out of the sails for the Red Rovers.
Those are called Warthogs, A-1 attack craft. I believe they're owned by the U.S. Army, and they fly in and out of ABE Airport from time to time on training missions. We're getting a little bit of everything here, Mike.
Well, it's certainly a beautiful setting here for high school football. This game almost has the era or feeling of a college game with the amount of people here. I mean, Easton certainly with the biggest of the following, and CB West certainly they have their people across the way. Let's take a look, if we can, at the first half stats. See what we can figure out there, and CB West on top, 21-6 over Easton. Both teams now back out onto the field. First half stats for
all right, we'll get to those stats in just a minute. sun's starting to make its presence here a little bit here at Goodman Stadium. The referees joined at center field. Now, if you remember, it was Central Bucks West winning the coin toss and deferring to the second half. So adding insult to injury, they will receive the ball. And they lead 21-6, Mike.
Okay, the first half stats, as I talked, we'll talk first for CB West. 11 first downs, 65 yards rushing. They were 5 of 12 passing with no interceptions for another 90 yards. Total offense in that first half for CB West, 155 yards. They did lose a fumble near the end of the half. Did not hurt them. They did not punt the ball. And listen to this, for an Eastern Regional Championship game, they had no penalties called against them. Mullins, 7 completions for, or excuse me, 7 carries, 40 yards, and without the sacks where he was sacked, 5 carries for 52 yards, plus the touchdown passes. Moylan has really played a real good first half. For Easton, 5 first downs, 102 yards rushing. They were 1 of 4 passing, through an interception, which led to a CB West score for just 5 yards. Total offense, 107 yards. They lost a fumble. They punted 2 times for a 35.5-yard average. They were penalized just 1 time for 15 yards. Juan Gaddy opened the game strong in that first drive. He wound up with 18 rushes for 80 yards. Sassoni for CB West, 2 catches, 53 yards, 6 carries, 14 yards.
All right, we want to mention that we are providing pictures for not only our Service Electric viewing audience in the Lehigh Valley and up in the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton area, but also for the Suburban Cable folks down in Bucks County. Glad to have you on board, and we want to thank Suburban Cable for providing us with the footage for the pre-game package, as you saw put together on the CB West CB East game on Thanksgiving Day. And as well, we're also providing the media a nice service and giving them the pictures down in the press box here at Goodman Stadium on the television monitors that are placed in that area. We're ready to get on with the second half now. The kickoff from Easton. They trail 21-6. The kick from Ryan Brandis, and it sails to Cleland, who picks it up at the 11. From the 11, he goes to the near sideline. He's got an opening, and he can fly to the 40. The 45, spinning down at about the 47, but hold on here. It is ruled that he has stepped out of bounds at the 34-yard line.
Well, they're going to take some of that yardage away, but this is a great individual effort by Cleland. The play is designed, or the kickoff return designed to be middle. He realizes, or he reads downfield. He shows great vision with it, where he sees that people are out of line on the cover team. Watch him now. He looks to the middle. Now he's looking up. He's got his head up, and he reads that the defense is closed to that line too quickly and breaks it to the outside, and a nice return on 23-yard return will give CB West relatively good field position to start the half.
Larry Kegler on the tackle. Dave Fleazar comes in for Soncini. First play from scrimmage, second half, and it goes nowhere. The Easton defense coming up big early on Dave Binder. Making the stop was Dean Jones.
Well, a couple of things here to look for now in the second half. Easton certainly has to maintain some discipline. They are by no means out of this football game with the explosiveness of that offense, but the defense is going to have to create some opportunities for the offense. On the CB West side, let's see what Coach Pettin decides to do in the second half. I think it would be a mistake if he got too conservative. Moylan has just shown great poise. I think he has to continue with that same game plan that was successful in the first half.
Second and about 9 yards. We have a penalty marker down. Moylan going to the near sideline, out of bounds. A flag thrown in the backfield. We'll see what that's all about.
And this will be the first penalty against the Bucks here of the afternoon, and certainly that's just great discipline by that offense and the defense for that matter there. Some motion there along that line of scrimmage, maybe somebody trying to get out there a little too quickly. Play was pretty well defensed by the Red Rovers.
Another designed run for Greg Moylan. As we mentioned before, not afraid to run the ball. Moylan averaging 6.3 yards per carry. He had 424 yards rushing coming into this game. Not bad as a quarterback either, Mike. A 58.4% completion rate.
Well, he's a complete quarterback. There's no doubt about it. He has the size, he has the mobility. But I think the thing that I'm most impressed with is that he has that great patience back there. He's very calm, and that reflects on the total offense to keep them calm, that they do not get too hyped up.
Fitzmartin split wide to the right, and Moylan's looking for him. He goes deep to Fitzmartin. Fitzmartin catches it, and he's pulled out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. Larry Gibson making the tackle.
Well, they get the defense, they get the corner turned around. Gibson loses sight of the football. Look at again, Moylan moving around, changing that pocket to give himself more time. You see Gibson gets turned around, he doesn't pick the football up. Fitzmartin again on the reception. Boy, he's got himself a couple of them here this afternoon. Another big one for Fitzmartin, 36 yards on the play.
Fitzmartin actually had to come back for that ball, or else he might have been gone. 22 yards per reception for that young man.
Well, that's the second good adjustment to a pass by Moylan tonight, or this afternoon. Sonsini made a real good effort in that first half.
1st and 10 from the Easton 33. Handoff goes to number 33. That's the big fullback, Binder. And Binder met at the line of scrimmage by Dean Jones.
Well, you know, you might ask yourself, you know, what CB West is doing. They have not had a great deal of success running in that area. The middle of that Easton line just, you know, outweighs and outmans the CB West offense. But what you do there is you just keep them honest. You have to keep them thinking about the inside, because then that makes your rollouts and your sweeps more effective, because you do have to make them respect the middle. Just great mixture by the CB West offense.
From the I formation, Cleland, the tailback. This play is blown dead.
Flag on the play.
Let's see what the call is now. And it is going against the Bucks. Another break for Easton.
Well, I'm sure Coach Pettin is not happy about those developments after a perfect first half as far as penalties. Now, the offense moving early twice, and something that I'm sure that he's not going to be real happy with, and I'm sure he'll talk to his offense about that.
There you see the quarterback, Moylan. Did I mention he ran for 7 touchdowns this season? Talk about a guy that does it all. Only 7 interceptions over 11 games, 17 touchdown passes, and a school record. Well, we can well say now he's well over 3,000 career passing yardage. The I formation again. Cleland, no. It's going to be Moylan dropping back. Throws it long. He's got a man. It's Fitzmartin. Touchdown, CB West. 39 yards. And the Bucks are simply opening up the wound.
Well, the key to this is the play action inside. I mean, it froze the defense. It not only froze the linebacker, I mean, the fake to the fullback inside actually drew a tackle. I mean, they tackled the guy, and that froze everybody in that secondary, and Fitzmartin able to break free and beat everybody, and another CB West score.
The quick strike, long ball, Fitzmartin from Moylan. It's been working all day long. And there it produces 6 more points. We'll give Moylan 18 touchdown passes on the season. We'll make that 19 after the one to Cleland in the first half. Patterson connects with the extra point, and we have a 28-6 ball game in progress with 9:50 left to play in the third quarter.
Watch what I'm talking about. Now look at the back. I mean, look at the attention that back drew. I mean, they still think he's got the football. He got whacked twice. Now you know what that does to the people deep. It draws them in because they think he has the ball, and Fitzmartin is behind him, and that is the key to that play. Great execution offensively. 4-play drive. 2 on the ground, 2 in the air, covering 66 yards. Moylan to Fitzmartin, 39-yard touchdown pass. Tack on the extra point. CB West looking to go to the final dance, 28-6.
The first opportunity for both of these teams at a state championship berth, and CB West, of course, as you see here, making the most of it.
Well, you know, and they're able to overcome, as I'm reminded by statistician Bill Bickle, some mental mistakes. I mean, they were penalized 10 yards in that drive also, so able to overcome that. But very impressed with the execution of that backfield, particularly the back, carrying out that fake to draw that much attention to himself and allow that receiver to get open. That back was number 42, DeLucia.
Another short kick by Patterson. This one's going to drop and bounce, and finally is picked up by Billy Carter. Carter to the 30-yard line, still on his feet, and down at about the 32. Now, Mike, before we get too comfy and cozy with CB West's 21 22-point lead here. We can't forget that Easton is most definitely a fourth quarter ball club, as we've seen on a couple of occasions this season.
Well, they're going to have to play a big third quarter here this afternoon because they are just not going to be able to make up that deficit, I don't believe, in one quarter. They're going to have to open things up, spread the field around a little bit, spread the football, and certainly get points on the board and fast.
Here come the Red Rovers from the I. Second man, no, first man through. And it's Jones getting swarmed near the line of scrimmage. May have gained a yard before he was met by Steve DeLuca.
DeLuca, again, the man who made a nice play offensively and carrying out a fake. Now on the defensive end, Red Rovers trying to keep him honest inside. Give Jones a yard on that carry.
The Easton team scoring 15 points in the fourth quarter against Becca High to win that game, 28-13. There's a couple of more instances of big fourth quarter heroics. Here's Gaddy now trying to find some room, and he, in fact, may have lost a couple of yards after being wrapped by number 42, Steve DeLuca.
Well, Gaddy tries to give up a little yardage here in an effort to make a big play. Watch, the play is stuffed, and in a normal situation, I think Gaddy would just put his head down and take what's there. But in trying to make a big play, watch him now, he's going to give up some ground, try and use his quickness. DeLuca, boy, that is nice technique. He went right down around the ankles. I don't care how big, how fast you are. If a defender gets you around both those ankles, you're going down.
That linebacking core coming through for CB West, and this ball is no, incomplete is the call. The line judge right there on the scene. CB West doesn't know that it's no good.
Now either way, it's a big defensive play and it's well covered. Easton will have to give up the football. You look at number 13, Billman, coming to the sidelines. Going to be a lot of pressure on him. Let's watch the replay here.
Rob Sweat bringing it down, and he thought he had it.
Well, let's see what we can pick up in here. It's going to be bobbled. At one point is an interception. Well, maybe not. Yeah, there, Sweat. There it is, on the ground. And on the ground, and a good call by the officials.
Right there on the spot. Fourth and long. Here comes the punt. The pressure is on. Getting the ball away was Fitzmartin. Correction, that was Sean Shoup getting it away. And look out, here comes the flea. And we have a flag down near the point of tackle at the 45-yard line. Tackle made by number 61, Keith Heimbach.
Fitzmartin now for CB West. 4 receptions, 95 yards, and a touchdown.
Clipping CB West. Penalties starting to hurt the Bucks a little bit here in the second half.
Well, it's the only mistakes they have made here, as they've played a near-perfect football game, except for that opening drive where the Red Rovers just marched right down the Lehigh University Goodman Stadium into the end zone and scored 6 points. And since then, it has been all CB West.
Puts the ball back at CB West's own 29-yard line, and that's where they'll start this drive with just under 8 minutes to play in the third quarter. From the I formation, Moylan, the handoff to Cleland, dancing around, and he's brought down for no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well played by defensive end number 87, Sean Shoup. He just does a great job of containing, turning the play back inside.
Merrill Fennell also assisting on the tackle from the inside linebacker spot. And that time, the Easton line came through and held the line. Again, we mentioned the Central Bucks West line slightly undersized against Easton, but they are so fast off the ball, they're making up for size with quickness. The I again, Moylan looks to pass. He's got all kinds of times and now has to hurry. It's complete to number 35, Sweat. Sweat met by Mike Mazzarese, the cornerback.
Football coming out at the end of the play, ruled down on the ground in a completed pass. Moylan, a great job again, moving the pocket to his right. The defenders were there, had to put a little extra on that one, and is able to get it into his receiver, Sweat.
Here comes Moylan off to the sideline now, or rather back to the huddle. They send off number 81 Moore and number 8, that's Sonsini.
Sweat, by the way, the inside linebacker on the defense, what we've seen, missed a couple of games due to a neck injury early in the season.
Two-back split left, and now going for it all once again to Fitzmartin. Intercepted by Easton. That was a 50-50 ball if you ever saw one. Michael Mazzarese simply taking it out of the hands of Roman Fitzmartin, who tried to grab it in front of Mazzarese's face mask.
Well, Mazzarese has made a couple of nice plays on that right there. He did the same thing in the first half, where he turned just in time to avoid number 1 picking up a penalty for face guarding, but also came up with the interception. Same kind of situation. You see, he has the better of the positioning, just turns inside, good inside-out coverage on the corner. Easton coming up with the turnover. Now they'll start from their own 16-yard line.
Works the same as a punt for CB West, and with that comfortable 12-point cushion, doesn't matter a whole lot here. Correction, 22-point cushion, I should say.
Billman trying to go to Libiano there on for the tight end, using Gaddy as a decoy. Incomplete. Will bring up 2nd and 10. Bob Shriver needs to start going deep into that playbook and pulling some rabbits out of his hat.
There is one intense individual, a man well-spoken, knows what this game is all about in his 12th season at the helm, the Dean of East Penn Conference coaches, and now an assistant athletic director at Easton as well. He credits the guys wearing number 50 and higher on their jerseys with this team's success. Look at this, a quick draw, and it's going to work a little bit for Easton. That's Dean Jones managing to get away from the initial wave of tacklers as he falls over the 20-yard line, where he's met by Dave Binder.
Nice 2nd and 3rd effort by Jones. A good call. The defense coming hard. Couple of players defensively overrun it. You'll see right at the point where the initial handoff, you see the lineman kind of running them out of the picture. And then Jones, a big burly guy, and your typical fullback. You get away from Sweat. You've done something there. Number 48, a nice finish to that run.
Bob Wolf looking for the strip there for CB West. Here's the pitch to Gaddy. Gaddy staying on his feet all the way up to the 30-yard line, and Easton first down.
Well, you know, I think we're on the Easton side here, and you can hear a collective sigh or everybody holding their breath every time 21 gets a hold of the football, waiting for him to break one. Needs a big second half, Juan Gaddy. Let's watch it here. They just run the toss, and they let him read and see where the hole will develop. They have some good numbers downfield. Oh, that's a nice job by number 25, Fleazar, and just breaking in there and getting a piece of Gaddy. Showing pass, they hand off to Gaddy inside, and Gaddy bowls his way for a 5-yard gain to the 35. Dave Binder, the defensive end, there to stop him. One of the things with Easton now, you know that they like to grind it out and move the football on the ground. You know, time becomes a big factor. 5:10 to play in the 3rd quarter. They don't really have the time to keep handing it off to Gaddy, who now comes out of the game for a little bit of a break. Good point, Mike. Only 5:01 now in the 3rd quarter. 28-6, CB West in command after Easton scored on their initial drive. Look out, and Jones is hit hard right at the line of scrimmage, going nowhere up the middle. Justin Gordon, the tackle, first man in to make the hit. Well, Gordon is the guy who makes the play. Again, they stunt, they try and shoot those gaps, and Gordon is able to get in there, finds Jones, just unable to control him there, but slows him down enough and allows the defense to come in and finish him off. One of those players, number 81, Ryan Moore. Fassbender also in there to assist on the tackle. 3rd and 5, a quick drop handoff. It's complete, and it's an Easton first down. And then some. A fine second effort by the receiver, Sean Shoup, who averages 17.5 yards per catch and has 3 touchdowns on the season. He was stopped by inside linebacker Rob Sweat. Well, Shoup is the so-called other tight end on his team in reference to Libiano, but Shoup is no slouch. 6'1", 208. He's a senior, can catch the ball in traffic, and a big first down for Easton, now moving the football. 1st and 10 from their own 46. Here comes Gaddy. And Gaddy picks up 7 before he's hammered down by Jason Williamson. Yeah, Williamson comes in to get a good shoulder on Gaddy. Watch number 44. Right there, comes in and lays the hat right on Gaddy, but Gaddy will take that kind of punishment, and I think that's one of the things that's most impressive about him. He's not afraid to run into traffic. Now 19 carries, 100 yards for Juan Gaddy. We saw Gaddy get absolutely leveled against Central Catholic by Bill Cramsey in the end zone after scoring one, and he can take a hit. Here comes the pitch. Gibson
And another fine tackle by the CB West corps. That time, Roman Fitzmartin showing some all-state stuff.
You know, guy just caught a touchdown pass. I'll tell you, this is a well-coached football team, CB West. I mean, this is just great technique. They get penetration, they get movement up the field from the line, forces the play back. You know, now on the pitch, I mean, this is just great technique tackling number 87, Fitzmartin.
Going with the force. The Rovers now in Central Bucks West territory from the 47, 3rd and 3. Billman intercepted. Number 25, Dave Fleazar. Mike, nothing is going right for Easton.
Fleazar's second interception of the afternoon. He came up with the first one, which set up a CB West score in that first half. And, you know, Easton's got to force the football a little bit. The receiver lost his footing. Fleazar just in the right spot. Great anticipation coming up with the turnover.
The interception king on the CB West team is Fitzmartin with 8 interceptions in 11 games, but obviously not the only one that can pull in the errant pass.
And CB West now using a timeout, a little unorganized here offensively, but you know, they did that in the first half, and that certainly did not hurt them, as they didn't need him by the end of the half. And they're taking one here with 2:37 to play in the third quarter, and West holding a 28-6 lead over the Easton Red Rovers.
Mike, you mentioned we had a steady stream of people arriving at the stadium throughout the first half, and already we have some people heading out to the cars. Again, 28-6, 2:37 left to play here in the third quarter, but don't call Easton dead in the water just yet. They've got that pocket rocket, Juan Gaddy, who, as you mentioned, Mike, can explode at any moment.
Well, that's one thing certainly you can't ever do. You know, there is time here, but certainly, you know, you're going up, you know, one of the top teams in the entire nation in CB West. And, I mean, they're just so well disciplined here. They're ready to play football. You know, they're prepared. And, you know, it's hard. It's really going to be hard for Easton to come back at this point because, you know, CB West has still got their game face on. You know, they're calling timeout. They're not making mental mistakes. You know, they're moving the football and they're still putting points on the board. So it's going to be an uphill climb for the Red Rovers, but, you know, certainly there is enough time.
CB West takes over on their own 46-yard lines after the interception. The quick hand. Oh, it's another fake by Moylan. Boy, he does that so well. He's got me fake. And he picks up about 8 yards on the carry to about the Easton 45. Although they're marking it a little bit shallow.
Well, so much of adds to the success of the passing game are those play fakes. And again, look at the back carrying out that play fake. I mean, I'm impressed with that. That back is running some 3-4 yards downfield, and that extra 3-4 yard jaunt, just faking that you have the football, frees your quarterback up to get to the outside.
Gibson making the tackle. And you got to credit Coach Pettin of the CB West side for avoiding that big front line that Easton has. He's running a lot of things left and right that seem to be working.
I give him credit for the technique and the discipline that he has in his team. And, you know, I'm not surprised to see that, Dan. Any program that wins 53 straight football games, I mean, that covers some 5 years. You're teaching the right things.
Moylan tucks and runs and gets another CB West first down as he busts it across the 40-yard line. Dean Jones coming back from the inside linebacker spot to make the stop.
Well, you know, now fatigue is really going to start to be a factor. I mean, Moylan it's so much easier to play offense than it is defense. I know there's a lot of two-way performers, but you're going to see Moylan, who has been moving that pocket around all afternoon long. I mean, look at the way them linemen are going to have to track him down, and this has been going on now for 2.5 quarters, almost close to 3, where the CB West offense has been, and the Easton defense has spent the most time on the field.
Here comes a pitch. Quarterback or halfback option. Cleveland lets it fly. Incomplete. The ball would not have been catchable, even though the collision downfield may have looked dramatic. It was pretty much incidental.
Now, District 3 officials here, which is neutral, I thought an exceptional job here this afternoon. A good non-call here. Fitzmartin is the one who initiates this contact. He sees that Cleveland's pass is going to be a little high and long, and now he tries to sprint for it. Watch. Yeah, I don't see any interference there. Good non-call, I thought.
Sean Shoup defending on the play. 2nd and 10 from the eye. They bring Sonsini into the tailback slot. And Sonsini gets the ball, rolls right. We haven't heard much of him in the second half. May not have looked like much, but he picks up about 5 yards on the carry before met by Merrill Fennell.
They do an excellent job of disguising Sonsini on that play. You see, they ran that in the first half. They line him up at the wing on the left, and then they make a little adjustment, which now turns him, into a tailback and allows him to hand him the football. And that's just a good job. And while that play didn't look like it picked up a whole lot, it got 4 or 5 yards around the right end. We'll bring up 3rd and 5.
CB West, as you can see on some of the close-up shots, have a number of different decorations that they use as awards to stick on their helmets. Some stars, some skulls, some crossbones, you name it. Moylan dropping back to pass. Down the middle, it's complete. It's Rob Sweat making the catch and bringing it up to about the 25-yard line for another Bucks first down. Dean Jones making the stop along with Mark Libiano.
Well, you look at what Dan was, those decorations. They're the rewards that you get for, outstanding play throughout the week. Certainly the crossbone and skull is for defense, stars usually offense and touchdowns. Great poise again by Moylan. Another good job by his offensive line. Cleveland clears out the left side, allows Sweat to just kind of dump underneath there. Necessary yardage for the first down. West 16th of the afternoon.
Throughout the season, CB West scoring 5 shutouts along the way. Here go. Oh, the ball's loose down low. It's up to the lineman. It's still loose. And we've got a scrum going on down there. It's going to be Easton recovering the fumble. Had to be a lineman down there, although the ball squirted loose once.
A la Warren Moon in the Monday night game against the Eagles. Watch Moylan, he just never controls it. Looks like he's trying to pull out of there a little too quick, and then he has no chance to get it as he's back. Now that ball's still loose there, kicked around again. Now it's over here on the left side of the screen. There's the battle right there. Looks like maybe number 73, Joey Jones coming up with the recovery. A lot of people had a shot at the football.
Tough to grab that ball with all that tape on your hands. Those linemen have it tough. Easton gets control from their own 26. And now Billman forced to pass, does so incomplete. His intended receiver, number 6, Greg Simonetta, who has 3 receptions on the season, one of them for a touchdown. He's averaging 26.7 yards per catch at the flanker spot.
Well, the Red Rovers have not gone a lot to the air this afternoon, and certainly now is going to be a real difficult time because CB West has to start to expect it. Head coach Bob Shriver, this has been a tough afternoon, and I'm sure it's gnawing away at him. 7 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
2nd and 10 from the 36. Gaddy wide right, he collects the ball, one man to beat. But again, some excellent positioning and some good technique by the 2 CB West defenders. The one coming over to help the other. That was number 44, Jason Williamson, and number 42, Steve DeLuca, driving Gaddy out of bounds.
Really was well defensed, trying to create Gaddy in a one-on-one, and you know that CB West is probably mirroring him on occasional plays with certain players. But 3 white jerseys over there defensively to pen Gaddy in, and you're going to need that. You don't want to allow him that one-on-one situation.
3rd and about 2. Gaddy up the middle, first down Easton as time runs out here in the 3rd quarter. They'll switch sides of the field. It'll be Easton with the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line. That was Chris Cleveland making the last tackle. Central Bucks West leads Easton 28-6. We'll be right back with the final 12 minutes of play right after this.
28, Easton 6.
Back to the action here at Goodman Stadium, the 4A Eastern final, and it's been Central Bucks West kind of afternoon, 28-6. They lead it. Gaddy getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage on 1st and 10.
Great pursuit by the Bucks defensively there. I mean, there's 6 white jerseys around Gaddy, and that's an important thing. You know, and again, that's just good defense, because you know Gaddy's going to try and dance and spin and is very good at getting out of these. I mean, watch this. Gaddy is basically, I mean, he's going to break out of 1 tackle there, another one here. He's still on his feet. Now, because of the good pursuit, look at 2, 3 more people coming in there and close to finish off number 21.
Malecki and Wolf, first 2 yellow hats in there. That brings up a 2nd and 11 now. Oh, a mixed up play. Billman's going to have to eat it. And Billman will lose 2 yards on the play. Ryan Moore, the defensive end, coming in to make the sack.
Appeared to be a missed assignment offensively as Moore came in. He pinched real hard from that end position. First sack of the night by CB West. Of course, you know, Easton has not thrown the football that much, so it does not put them in a situation where they would get sacked a lot of times.
Ryan Moore had the only touchdown reception versus CB East last week. 2-way performer, a starter at defensive end. 3rd and 12 now from their own 40. Billman rolls left. Oh, can only barely get the pitch out to Gaddy, and Gaddy gets stopped. Nothing is happening for the Easton running game.
Well, and the reason being is the defensive line for CB West. I mean, that's just a great push upfield. Watch. On the upper part of your screen, I believe, is that going to be number 50 who's getting the penetration. Now, when you allow that penetration, look what that does. That's in Billman's way. I mean, he doesn't necessarily have to make the tackle, but that just screws up the entire timing to the play, and then the pursuit catches up to Gaddy. Number 50 defensively, Justin Gordon.
Lezar and Malecki cleaning up where Gordon started. We have an injured player down on the field. Looks like number 81 for Central Bucks West, Ryan Moore, the guy we just mentioned, the defensive end. 6'4", 210-pound tight end and defensive end as well.
Last year, 1990 state playoffs. In the East, it was Ridley 11-0 at Wilson West Lawn, and that game was played right here at Goodman Stadium. Ridley, a 14-12 winner to advance to the state finals. Out west, it was North Allegheny, came in at 12-0-1, played Erie Cathedral Prep, which was undefeated at 10-0. North Allegheny prevailed 35-17. In the state championship game at Hershey Park, North Allegheny prevailed 21-14 to win the 1990 4A championship.
Want to thank CB West statisticians Bob Schaefer and Fred Schoch for providing stats on this fine CB West team. Here comes the punt now. It is going to be looked at by Sonsini, and then he grabs it at the 20. He picks up 2 yards on the return, so it'll be Central Bucks West ball at their own 22.
39-yard punt with a 2-yard return, and the Bucks will take over here to start the 4th quarter, and a lot of people now starting to file out of Goodman Stadium. 28-6, Central Bucks West.
It's ironic that these 2 schools lie only about 30 miles away from each other in between sections of Route 611, and yet have never faced each other. Easton's got its Phillipsburg rivalry for Thanksgiving, and CB West, of course, involved with CB East in that fierce battle every year. 10-12 to play. CB West starting from their own 22 on this drive. Full house backfield. Moylan. And the handoff to number 43, Chris Fassbender.
Well, look for West now to just certainly run that clock, take as much time in between plays, try and keep it on the ground and just grind out a couple of first downs.
Middle guard Jason Swint coming up to make the tackle. CB West head coach Pettin told his team at the beginning of the year, he knew he was going to be stacked in the backfield, told them there's only one football at this game, fellas. Let's share it and share the wealth they have. Moylan rolling right, all alone, and it's loose, but rolls out of bounds after a nice defensive effort by number 81 for Easton, Mark Liviano.
Well, again, the CB West trying to get to the outside. You run sweeps, you run tosses. Now this one's going to be an option. I don't know if Moylan's looking to throw that ball, and now it looked like he was trying to come up with it, but well defensed by Easton. Liviano stringing it out, and Moylan just leaves it on the turf there, and More importantly, the ball goes out of bounds and stops the clock.
That was Bob Pettin, who looked like he was going to jump on that loose ball for a second there.
You know, your emotions run high over there. I'm sure he might have thought about recovering that fumble.
Mike Pettin, pardon me. Pettin's biggest fear was coming up against a team with the size of Easton, but obviously, judging by the 28-6 score, he's been able to clear that hurdle. Now the handoff to number 21, Chris Cleland, and Cleland is stopped for little or no gain by Dean Jones.
You know, you talked about Coach Pettin and his record. He took over the program in 1967. He went 9-0-1. In 68, he was 7-3-0, and then in 1969, they split CB East and CB West, and he went 5-5. This is the first punt of the night for CB West. In 69, he went 5-5, and that is as close as he has come to having a losing season in 25 years of head coach at CB West.
How about that? I don't think he has to worry about job security. Here comes Billy Carter, receiving it at the 40 and bringing it up to about the 46-yard line. 8:39 left to play in the ball game. Rob Sweat making the tackle.
Yeah, and a guy who's played one whale of a football game on both sides, a 35-yard punt with an 8-yard return.
So from the looks of things,
you know what,
with 8:38 to go here in the game, it looks like CB West will take on either Connellsville or Erie Cathedral Prep. That game going on along at the same time as this game. 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon kickoff. Billman rolling left under pressure and has to throw it down to the ground. Incomplete, and the flag goes down. No receiver near the ball.
Incomplete. There's a flag on the play.
I think the officials have a good case.
Pressure put on by Justin
It's been a tough afternoon for the entire Easton offense, no question about it.
against Easton.
Incidentally, the state 4A championship final will be a week from today. Let's take another look at that play.
Let's see what happens here. You're going to see in pursuit. Well, we pan away from there, so I really don't know. It's going to have to be some kind of a personal foul or something that took place, because obviously after... Oh, intentional grounding. Okay, I wasn't paying attention, guys. I'm sorry. Intentional grounding, and this will be not only the loss of yardage, but loss of down.
The state 4A championship final site, Mansion Park, Altoona. And that game, as I mentioned, coming a week from today.
On the intentional grounding penalty.
Easton digging itself deeper into a hole. Second down and 34 for the Red Rovers. Correction, 2nd and 23. That's a little more like it, but it's still quite a span. Billman lets it fly. Look out, Gibson collects it for a loss on the play. And there was Ryan Moore, who obviously has recovered from that injury he suffered a little while ago. Let's take another look.
No, well defensed again, and again, look at the pressure being put on Billman. That was number 43 breaking through there. Fast bender, and nowhere to go as Moore is perfect in position there and read the screen and comes up with another big defensive play for the Bucks.
This defense is smelling blood. A loss of 9 yards makes it 4th down and 41. And they're going to go for it. They have no 3rd down and 41.
Well, not too many plays in the playbook for this one, except toss it to number 21.
Gaddy
and
rolling
see what
left.
happens.
Tries to cut the corner. And another beautifully executed tackle by the Central Bucks defense. It looked like number 44 to make the stop, Jason Williamson.
Well, it really was Williamson, but again, look at the good penetration that Moore, number 81, gets upfield. Look at him take on the double team, and he slows Gaddy down just enough to allow Williamson to come up. Boy, and that is picture-perfect tackling on the outside. Break down, get your shoulders, put your helmet in between the numbers, and wrap up the runner.
Here comes the punt now. Matt Sassini is the deep man. The play is blown dead with the ball in the air.
Flag on the play.
2 penalty markers littering the field. We'll find out. It's going to be offsides Easton.
Against Easton.
Illegal procedure, correction. .6:52 left to play. You know, we talked so much about Coach Pettin and his remarkable career. He also served on a committee, a PIAA committee, to come up with a better way of picking the teams that will qualify for the state playoffs. Well, they submitted several suggestions. Here's the punt now. Sonsini fields it at his own 45 and then cuts against the grain and makes it to about the 47. Continuing that thought, the committee submitted several suggestions along with a power rating system, which Pettin thought might work, and all of those suggestions were turned down. The present process that they use kind of discriminates against teams that don't play big 3A or 4A schools all the time. And the example, of course, locally would have to be Catasauqua, going 13-0 this season, winning the Colonial League, the District 11 championship, and yet still not qualifying due to the present point system. That's number 69 for Easton on the ground. Harold Miller, one of those key two-way defensive and offensive linemen.
Andy Himmelwright directing tonight. Sean Hawes on super slow-mo. Scott Richardson, senior engineer. Bill Kuhar, associate engineer and RCA mic collector.
What's that? Now Central Bucks West with the ball at their own 47, and this play will be stopped and brought back. Flags on the field.
Don Hunt is always our producer and helping us along tonight, or this afternoon, spotter Ed Gallagher. I want to thank him for joining us and helping us along with Billy Bickle, our statistician all year long, does a great job. Cameramen this afternoon, Captain Video, Jim Grell, and John Wasson III.
Penalty against CB West has been declined.
Don Long, production associate. Master control, Dan Himmelwright, along with Andy Himmelwright, our producer.
Second down and 9. And the pitch goes to Sonsini. Sonsini hurdling. And he gets his wings clipped at about the midfield line. We got a little extracurricular activity going on. A little pushing and shoving going on in the field, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 7 situation.
Yeah, this is really a tough part of a football game, you know, for a program like Easton. You know, you go undefeated, and obviously, you know, the only time that, you know, you've been in this situation is when you have been on the winning end of it, and, you know, you never expect that this can happen to you, but, you know, you want to play state competition, you want to play against the best. You know, a lot of times you sometimes run into bigger and better, and certainly CB West has proven to be the better football team here this afternoon. Ranked nationally, and they came in here and, you know, really traveled a little bit the furthest, but came in here with their game face on, and then really have played a good football game here this afternoon. I mean, you know, you look at for next week, which they will advance now to the state finals, which will be played on December 14th at Madison Park, Altoona. You know, Connellsville or Erie Cathedral Prep. You know, they have scouts in the stands here. You know, they're going to have a lot to go back and tell which either one of those teams win. You know, they're going to go back with a handful, and there's going to be a lot of work need to be done to stop this CB West team from a state championship.
3rd and 12 from their own 46. Moylan drops back. He's got a man in his face. Lets it fly. It's complete to number 21. That's Chris Cleland. And Cleveland slides out of bounds on his own sideline at about the 44.
You know, I know I've said a lot of things about number 11, Moylan, but I'm going to tell you, the patience and the cool that he shows in this play just typifies the whole afternoon for him. And this is my first look at the young man, and I'm sure, you know, this is the way he's always played. I mean, he just baited the defense there. It was a screen. He had pressure, and he just kept backpedaling and backpedaling under a lot of pressure and just waited till he got hit to dump that off and come up with a completion. We'll be a little bit short of the first down, but, you know, just a great execution by Moylan.
And one has to feel for that man there. Bob Shriver, the head coach of the Easton Red Rovers. The deep men, Juan Gaddy and Billy Carter on the punt. And we've got an offsides call here.
You know, and this is CB West again. You know, you move a couple of people up there to try and draw the defense off. That's going to go against Easton, and we'll give CB West the first down. The officials are conferring here yet. Let's take a look yet. Offsides, Easton. You know, you move those people up there, you got some movement. I'm not so sure there was contact. You'd need to have contact there, but, you know, certainly the officials saw something there, and we'll move the chains. CB West, another first down, number 17 on the afternoon.
Our spotter, our stats man, Bill Bickle, a good point. There was no contact, and the snap hadn't been made. Well, one can only wonder.
There's your punter. He's happy with the results.
A handoff to Binder. Binder diving forward for a gain of a couple. And it moves the ball to about the Easton 37-yard line with 4:38 left to play and ticking. CB West very well may score another touchdown here without really trying that hard.
Well, you know, you tend to, and again, you know, Easton a great year. East Penn Conference champs, two-time defending District 11 4A champs, and, you know, a difficult situation for them. You know, they need to play the thing out here. They don't let you quit. They don't let you stop playing until the final gun blows, and they need to finish it out here, you know, like the true champions that they are.
Both teams knew coming into Goodman Stadium that they would be putting their undefeated record on the line, that only one team would survive with that record intact. And only one team would get the trip to Altoona next week to play in the state championship final. We have flags down on the play.
I think this is going to go against Easton here. You know, this might be a personal foul. But again, that time in the game that, you know, you win like a champion, you lose like a champion. And, you know, that's the thing that you got to remember now, you know, when you're on that losing sidelines. You cannot afford to let the emotions get the best of you. And Coach Shriver's going to use a timeout here and call his team over, and I'm sure that's what he will talk about. He knows how frustrating it is for those players. It's just as frustrating for him. It has been a great campaign for them. They don't want to ruin it here with some sloppy play in the last couple minutes.
Good point. And the other thing to keep in mind is crowd control. Although the sidelines are pretty well spread apart along with those stands, they want to try to keep things as orderly as possible. Again, 7,000 pre-sold tickets, and you can bet a lot of people showing up today for this game. We've got a 15-yard penalty coming against Easton.
We're going to get a timeout here by Easton, and you know, we'll let things settle down there. You know, we talked about Bethlehem Catholic. You know, this is the first year they're not in the state playoffs, and local team for us here in the Lehigh Valley. Let's recap 1990 for them as they moved up to the 3A classification. A big win over Berwick up at Lackawanna County Stadium, where they upended a nationally ranked Berwick team 7-3. They then went on to the state finals at Hershey Park, and they beat Seton LaSalle 43-7 to give Becca their second state championship in the three-year playoffs that started in '88. In 1989, Becca also qualified. It was in the 2A classification. They were beaten by Montoursville 31-16. That game was at Blue Mountain in a game that we were also at with the Super 2. In 1988, the first year of state playoffs, Bethlehem Catholic in the 2A competition, went all the way undefeated. They started out with West York. They beat them 15-0 as the defense, I think, might have been the best that Bob Stem had. They then beat Wilmington 26-11 in the state championship game, December 10th, 1988, and that was played in Altoona Park Altoona at Madison Park. Bethlehem Catholic, two state champs, and that two-time state champs, and that's more than anybody in the state.
From the 10-yard line, the handoff goes to Dave Binder. Binder pulling his way down the middle for a gain of a couple. Mark Libiano there to make the stop. Call it 2nd and 7, gain of 3 on the play for Binder. When they get close to the end zone, it's Binder who usually gets the ball. Again, he leads his team in scoring with 12. Make it 13 touchdowns now.
Well, they really have a great mix, Dan. I mean, they have a lot of people they can go to and use. You know, something we talked about at the top. I mean, you know, you're this far along in the season, particularly in the 4A division. I mean, you need to have a lot of weapons. You just don't have, you know, one ball player that carries you this far. You need a lot of horses up front. You need a quarterback that can think. You know, you need people that can run the ball, and certainly most foremost, you need a defense that can play the game. And certainly CB West comes in there holding Easton to 6 points, and they gave that up on the initial drive. They've shut them out now for the last more than 3.5 quarters defensively.
2nd and 7, Moylan diving for the first down marker, which was at about the 5-yard line. Larry Gibson, the cornerback, making the bulk of Easton's tackles today, or so it seems, making sure he is escorted out of bounds before reaching the end zone. And they mark the ball at the 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for CB West. 3:12 to work with. Oh, we may have a measure. We do have a measurement in progress here. It is a 1st down for CB West, and everything seems to be going the Bucks' way.
19th 1st down for them, and they've just really controlled things, as I mentioned, since the opening couple of minutes of that drive that Easton put together. I mean, the defense has just come up big, and the offense has controlled the football.
28-6 is our score, and CB West looks to increase that margin. They go to Binder, and it's a touchdown for CB West.
There was a little different look there. They went unbalanced line right, plus they went full house backfield on that right side. They really overloaded that right side, and they just try and knock you off the football. Watch, look at all the people. Look at all the people on the right side over there.
And they're moving that big line. Look at them go.
Sure. You know, you overload, you get the better of the numbers over there, and you know that line pushed to about the 1, and then Binder finished it from there to put the Bucks on the board again.
And that is the mood on the Easton sideline, as you can well imagine. The extra point attempt by Patterson. Lets it fly, and this one is no good. Wide left. I think I'm getting a greater understanding of the field goal situation for this team. Patterson missing wide left on the extra point attempt, and the score stands 34-6. Central Bucks West in charge.
Score with 3:07 remaining. 8-play drive, 7 on the ground, aided by a personal foul call against Easton. 1 in the air, covered 53 yards. Binder capping it from 5 yards out. The extra point not good. CB West clearly in control and going to the big dance. They lead 34-6. Billy Bickle just thought he heard some overweight lady singing some notes out there, so I guess we're going to call this one, put it in the record books.
Time to call Weight Watchers.
Yeah, 3:07 remaining to play, and I believe the fat lady is indeed singing.
Here comes Patterson with the kickoff, and he sends it away from Gaddy. It's fielded by Billy Carter. Carter at the 15. And look at this, he's got a wide open field. If he can move, he's there. To the 50, he has to cut inside. The 40, the 35, and out of bounds just short of the 30-yard line.
Well, since that opening drive, truly one of the highlights offensively for the Red Rovers. Carter not throwing a towel, and we talked about him, you know, trying to utilize his speed. He's only a sophomore, able to break it to the outside, and, you know, comes within a step of breaking it for a touchdown. You'll see, looks like it's designed to maybe break up the middle, but a good back will find that opening, and it is wide, and Carter able to scoot to the outside, causes a miss there, and the pursuit will finally catch up to him.
Billy Carter started the season as a JV player, was added to the lineup late as a special return man. He's only a sophomore, and that, ladies and gentlemen, was a 52-yard return. We'll be watching for that young man the next 2 years to come.
Yeah, you can't forget now, you know, this was a great learning experience for Easton. You know, they're not losing a whole lot of people. You know, Gaddy is certainly one guy, you know, you can really build around. You know, now you see a guy like this Carter, so, you know, in a great feeder system at Easton. So, you know, look for this program to maybe grow off this experience of playing in, you know, the Eastern regionals, and you know, I'm sure you're going to see the Red Rovers back in this football game sometime real soon. You know, you return a guy like Gaddy, you can do so many things offensively.
Juan Gaddy, what can you say about him? Well, he became Easton's all-time leading rusher earlier this season, breaking Jeff Staten's career mark of 3.468. He's also the #1 guy in Easton's all-time in career scoring, #1 in season scoring, and #1 in one season's rushing, coming at this game with 1,774 yards.
Well, not a lot of new players now in for CB West as the starters have gotten a break, and you know, all subs and a lot of people taking curtain calls across the way. They got one more to go. You know, they really won a state championship real bad. They've had some mythical championships as far as, you know, nationally before they played these games, and you know, they won one. They want something to put into that trophy for a state championship. They're going to get their first opportunity at it next week in Altoona.
We got some new white jerseys showing up on the field. Let's take a look at the play here. Billman dropping back and completing it. That's number 89 making the catch, Frank Grillo.
That is not our cameraman walking out of the way of that action, is it? Boy, I'm amazed. They got to hang in there a little longer.
From the I formation, the 25-yard
That's
line.
True. We got a long
Billman.
basketball season coming up to save those guys.
Al, his intended receiver had stepped out of bounds, so this one is incomplete no matter what happens. Would have been a real tough catch for number 86, Mike Kondaira.
Billman's pass intended for Matty Bancho. Incomplete.
Easton now looking at a situation of 3rd and 4. Let's call it 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3.
From the I formation. At the Bucks 25, Billman steps left, lets it fly. What a catch! Complete to number 81, Liviano.
Billman's pass complete to Mark Liviano.
And Easton is not done yet with 2:32 left to play. That was Mike McGroarty defending Liviano along with a couple of other guys.
Well, second teamers in now for CB West, but I'm going to tell you, this is still some darn good coverage over there. There's two people right there. Liviano has to make a tough catch in traffic, 18-yard pickup.
McGroarty and Hannessy combining on the tackle, but what a grab by Liviano, who is going out in style. The senior receiver with 4 school records. Had 13 touchdown receptions coming into this game, 44 overall. 44 receptions. That is Billman looking for some time, lets it go. He's got a man. It's just overthrown. Incomplete to Matt Evancho.
Billman takes a shot from number 68, Scott Orrin, a sophomore linebacker, 6'1", 200-pounder. Gaining some experience out there for CB West.
Second and goal from the 7-yard line.
Second and goal now from the 7.
If you're just joining us, Easton took the opening kickoff and drove 70 yards for the first score of the game. Could not connect on the extra point. CB West came back in the first period to lead 7-6. On a Moylan run, here comes Gaddy now into the end zone. Touchdown, Easton. And we'll add another quick few pages to the chapter of this game as Juan Gaddy picks up yet another touchdown for Easton.
Well, you know, if things stand the way they are right now, and probably they will, Gaddy will have scored the first touchdown in the game and the last touchdown in the game. And if you tuned in early and late, you'd think, boy, Easton had a heck of an afternoon. But what happened in between was a nightmare for the Red Rovers. CB West still out in front, 34-12, 1:55 remaining, and then they will be on their way to Madison Park in Altoona.
CB West leading 7-6 after one quarter, 21-6 at halftime, and then 28-6 after 3 quarters. 34-12 the numbers now. Billman gets sacked, and that's how it'll stand with 1:55 to play.
Take a look at the touchdown. Now, this play was successful in the first half. We didn't see a whole lot of it. They faked it to the fullback inside. Look at penetration upfield again. That's number 89 getting movement upfield, Todd Validis. And he is only a sophomore. 6'2", but he got good penetration upfield, but they forced the pitch early. But what happened was Gaddy had all kind of open room to the right side, and you know, when he gets that kind of room and you're one-on-one, you're gonna have a rough time with Juan Gaddy, and he was able to dance around to the outside and skirt into the end zone.
Add 12 to Gaddy's career scoring total, and you come up with 288 points. Not bad.
Special kind of guy, number 21. You know, another year left at Easton High School. Will probably, barring injuries, own all of the rushing records as far as yardage. He will be chasing Eric Marsh, who broke the record of Dave Carisco last year. So I think if Gaddy stays healthy, that mark's going to go sometime in the middle of next season.
No doubt about it. Chances are that mark will stand for an awfully long time. An onside kick now by the Red Rovers. Will it reach 10 yards? Yes, it does. Pretty well executed, but I believe Central Bucks West will have it. Number 44 coming up with a loose pigskin, Jason Williamson.
Well, you got a lot of second teamers in there, but that's really misplayed by the defense there by CB West. Watch what happens. They have to come up and make contact with this football. The ball has to go 10 yards. Now look, at Easton's going to stand and wait, but CB West is standing and wait, and they got to come up there and make a play on that football, because if it doesn't go 10 yards, well, then they just have to do it over again. But West has to come up and make a play on that football there. But certainly the outcome in doubt. A lot of second teamers in there right now. I think we have an injury across the way.
And we believe it's number 13, Greg DePippo, a sophomore backup quarterback, in on special teams. Oh, correct. He is the new quarterback. We are unsure as to who the injured party is. Number 87 looks like. That would be Roman Fitzmartin, and certainly CB West does not want to lose that young man going into a state championship final.
No, I think he's about to get up shortly. I think he's going to be okay, and hopefully he is, because as you mentioned, integral part, not only offensively but defensively, of this CB West team. I mean, there's a guy who played a big football game this afternoon.
CB West's top receiver, 22 yards receiving, or 22 yards per reception. Donnie Long, what does he do again? One of the members of our staff.
He's supposed to block. He's
production assistant.
He's supposed to block for the cameraman there when that play comes away, isn't he?
Something like that, anyway. The carry by Josh Gallagher, number 32. One of those clean white jerseys in the game. Junior running back, stopped by number 71, Todd Candle.
Candle makes the stop for Easton.
Juan Gaddy scoring 2 touchdowns, but that young man can't be happy with the outcome of this ball game. CB West leading 34-12. 2nd and 7 now. The pitch out. Number 41 taking a licking. That's Brian Hennessy, the sophomore running back, met by Chris Clark, number 56, and Todd Candle.
Easton now a lot of new jerseys in there defensively, and you know, this one over. 107. 1 minute.
We're down to the final seconds of this ball game. From the I formation, the pitch out by DePippo. Hennessy knocked down. No gain on the carry. Greg Simonetta coming up to make the stop, along with Matt Ivanso.
Pursuit, nice job of stringing that play out. Now some second teamers. You know, coaches look at films. You know, next year is coming. You want to play football here. You know, nice job of stringing it out, turning it inside. 1 yard pickup maybe on the play at most.
19 seconds showing on the clock, which is running. One more play should do it.
No,
although it's 4th and 8 right now.
Yeah, I don't even think we're going to see that one here. You know, if we see a flag come out, but I would kind of down it.
3, 2. Well, the clock stops at 3. We have a flag down, delay of game. CB West. There's the story. The clock will start at the snap. 3 seconds to go in the ball game. The pitch out, And it's all pretty much academic from here on in as time runs out. CB West showing that it does indeed deserve that USA Today #5 national ranking. The top-ranked team in the state 4A class comes in and cleans up against Easton, the #2 team in the state. Final score, 34-12.
Well, you're right, Dan. You know, and I'll recap the scoring. Easton did break on top. Gaddy taking it in from 8 yards out. The extra point was missed, and from that point there, it was all downhill for the Red Rovers. CB West scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unanswered touchdowns. Moylan started it off with a 7-yard run. Moylan then again hit Cleland on a 17-yard pass. Binder then ran it in from 1 yard out after an interception. Moylan then hit Fitzmartin. Binder a 5-yard run, and then Gaddy for Easton closed out the scoring with 1:55 remaining in the game to make our final. CB West 34, Easton 12. We will look at the final stats now for both teams. We will start with Easton. They had 9 first downs. You got to keep in mind 4 of them came in that opening drive, so basically they were shut down after that time. They had 148 yards rushing. They were 6 of 16 passing with 2 interceptions for 39 yards. They had a total offense of 187 yards. They lost a fumble. They punted 5 times for 35.4-yard average. They were penalized 5 times for another 45 yards. Juan Gaddy did top the century mark, 24 carries, 121 yards, and he worked for all of them. For CB West, a trip to the state championships in Altoona, 19 first downs, 120 yards rushing. They were 5 of 19 passing with 1 interception. There were no completions in the second half, but really didn't need them. 195 yards through the air. Total offense of 315 yards. They did lose 2 fumbles. They punted only 1 time for 35 yards and 5 penalties for 35 yards in the second half. I'm sure Coach Penton is not going to be real happy about that. Moylan, 11 rushes, 63 yards. I thought he just did an incredible job of running the offense, staying poised, keeping everybody under control, and just running the whole thing there offensively and putting the points on the board. Dan, I guess, you know, really not what we expected, but in a game such as this, these things can happen. CB West came in here, I think, maybe better prepared, played a better football game naturally. They were better disciplined, and as a result, they're going to play for all the marbles next Saturday.
Juan Gaddy, another day at the office as he breaks 100 yards rushing with 124 on 24 carries. However, nowhere near his output last time on a football field, 314 yards against P-Bird. And of course, he will not reach 2,000 yards rushing this season, although it comes awfully close. We will get lots more of Juan Gaddy next season, and Bob Shriver no doubt will be back with another awesome power-packed football team that we have come to know Easton by throughout this season and many before it. Once again, the final score here at Lehigh's Goodman Stadium in the Class 4A State Football Eastern Final. Central Bucks West 34, Easton 12. CB West going on to Mansion Park, Altoona to play either Connellsville or Erie Cathedral Prep. This is Dan Mowdy for Mike Zambelli, Bill Bickle, our chief statistician, and Ed Gallagher, our spotter. Thanks for joining us. Remember to keep watching Super 2 Sports for the best in high school football. The replay of this game will be Monday night at 9:30. Good night.